Welcome to Q and Colb.
On
I
the
told
road.
you. I
On the
told
road.
you.
Hey,
I'm on the road.
we
Brothers in
can do that.
Mobile, Alabama. I'm about to be at the Senior Bowl, representing, asking questions, figuring out who's hot, who's not, and all of that. And here's how you know you can trust my word from what I say, because my word is gold. Told y'all exactly what was about to happen. Everybody was falling for trends. Everybody was falling for what was new. Oh yeah, this Lamar, this hot. Oh yeah, hey man, these Lions, it's hot, dog. Oh, we about to get this Lions, Ravens Super Bowl. Everybody was excited about that. And when I tell you in December. Pat gonna find a way to be in that fucking thing, whether he makes it there or not. You know what else I told you, Cole? Hey, all those shitty wide receivers gonna start catching that thing miraculously. What happened? Marquez Valdez Scantling, of all people, iced the game because Pat decided you ass. I'm not gonna try to score a touchdown with you, Marquez. I'm gonna throw you the easiest, most catchable ball for your trash ass to catch so we can close this game out because you suck. And you know what? That's why Lamar ain't on this level because Lamar still be throwing to his wide receivers like they good, right? He was out there throwing up passes to Zay, well, not Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is good. He was out there trying to throw the Nelson Aguilar into windows like he not ass. Like we haven't seen Nelson Aguilar be terrible. But I told y'all, everybody was like, oh man, this is the year you can get Pat. Hey man, if I'm the Browns, we was out here with Joe Flacco talking about some, hey man, I might want to see the Chiefs this year. I might come on, man. Come on. Come on. We was getting way too disrespectful. Now he's back in the. By the way, since he's lost Tyreek Hill back to back AFC championships, back to back, back to back. I believe he has just as many Super Bowl appearances now without Tyreek Hill as with Tyreek Hill. But he has bad receivers, Quincy. It's not the same offense, Quincy. It's just they don't feel the same. It's like LeBron. I don't give a fuck what that man does in the regular season. It's Bron, dog. He gonna put up 38. He gonna put up 35. Would it matter? He gonna find a way to get Rodney Hood to make them fucking jumpers. Like it's gonna happen. It's gonna drop for him. Also, hey man, shout out to the Lions. They had a hell of a half of football, man. Cole, I was wondering. I was like, hey, man, shout out. I was so happy for Detroit for that first half of football, but it was also to me like a Final Destination movie because I'm watching these dudes score, and part of me's happy because, like, hey, look, Baltimore already lost. I don't give a fuck now who wins the Super Bowl. Like, as long as Baltimore ain't going to do it, I don't care. So I don't need the Lions to win or lose. I wanted the Lions to win, right? Like, why not? Let's do it for the little guy. And they got up, they got that first touchdown. I'm like, okay, they got that first touchdown before I even got to the game. I was too busy talking shit about Roquan Smith to watch the first touchdown, right? Like, that Ravens pack hit well. I needed that. Ooh, ooh. That shout out to the Ravens for laying that egg, baby. Completely winnable game for you. And by the way, you ain't never gonna have another chance to win it all like that again, dog. It was right there for you. That must hurt. That must hurt. Hey, Lamar Jackson, dog. He got some shit to answer, but we gonna get to that. We gonna get to that. But first off, Cole, walk me through what your emotions were just for the first half. Right? Because from the outside looking, I was like, yo, it's lit. Like, they got a whole fucking stadium of Detroitians out there going nuts every time the Detroit Lions do something, dog. They were showing the people in the crowd, they were showing this dad and son duo high-five each other and look at each other and go, oh my God, the Lions are going to win it. And I just thought while I was watching that kid and his dad have a pivotal moment in their relationship, a moment that they will never forget, but not for the reasons that they thought at the time. See, they thought they was going to always remember that moment because it'd be a beautiful thing that they shared. But you know why they're going to remember that moment, Cole? You know why those two, that father-son duo, that high five after that touchdown, going to remember that moment for the rest of their life, Cole? because that's going to be the happiest the Lions have ever made them in their life. Right there. That end of that first half, when you looked around and it was up by 21. Hey, that is the happiest the Detroit Lions might ever make you. Straight up. That is it. Even if they get to the Super Bowl and win, I don't know if you can watch this one out in time for it to hit like it should have. Because that is it. That is peak Lion fandom. I'm sorry. That son, just quit now, dog. Quit now. Don't join for the next 30 years. You've already gotten the most out of it. You're never going to beat that. You're never going to beat how you felt at halftime of that NFC Championship game. But that shit was amazing. Cole, walk me through your first half experience. Like, what? Because you was actually a believer.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was watching that first half just thinking, I half-heartedly kind of thought the Lions could beat the 49ers when we talked about it last week. After that first half, I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, I should have been all in. I was like, my faith wavered for no reason.
And when they got that interception, I started to believe. Like that linebacker.
That's when I was like,
But you know what happened? See, look, I was nervous the whole time they were scoring, Cole, because I'm like, you saw me. I was like, hey, man, this is too easy for the Lions. I don't know if this smells right. And then
when it started? It started when they got that interception and CJ Gardner-Johnson got that dumbass penalty. And I was just like, that could come back to bite them. What happened right after that? They got the turnover, didn't score. So I was like, okay, they up a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
I wanted to go get food at this point. I was like, you know what, man? It's a wrap. The Detroit. I want to make sure that I'm eating when the Detroit Lions get over the mountaintop. That's what I wanted to be. I was like, let me make sure I'm at a good place so I can watch history happen. I went next door, got myself a little bowl and everything, real quick. I made sure I got the quick stop. I was like, you know what, man? I want Colb talking shit already, tagging me in this fucking stupid ass picture of Jared Goff talking about you must respect him and all of this. And I was just like, man, you know what, Detroit, y'all having y'all moments. And if you got to have some of these moments at my expense, all men, but don't lose. Why?
Hey, I ain't gonna cap. They was up by a bunch. I was like, okay, I know Q go spin this about Patrick Mahomes. We're gonna talk about that in a second. He gonna spin this, he gonna spin a block on his Patrick Mahomes stuff. I get that. It's like, but I'm gonna get mine too, though. And then what happened? It was the fourth down when Josh Reynolds dropped that ball. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, that's how it starts.
See, look, that's what I came back. I left. I was like, you know what, man? Detroit got this, man. This Detroit, they got this, dog. They not about Brock Purdy throwing interceptions and shit. This ain't Brock Purdy looking like trash right now, dog. Detroit got this. So you know what I did, man? I went and got some food. I come back and I'm like, man, what's going on? Because the first thing I see is Brandon Ayuk dribble a ball off his face and catch it. I was like, oh shit. Hey, well, that might make this interesting. And then I looked at the scoreboard, Colb, and I'm like, it's more than interesting. It's close.
I couldn't believe it, bro. I couldn't believe when he caught that ball. I was like, "Oh, they're losing for sure, 100% losing."
No. It wasn't when he caught the ball. They scored the touchdown. Here's where I knew it was over. When they fumbled the run right after, and then Kyle Juszczyk toe tapped for a 9-yard game, and I was like, oh, you're fucked. No. You're fucked, dog. Like, when some shit like that happens, oh, it's a wrap. It's about to be bad. Like, we might forget this game was fucking close. I haven't seen a collapse like that. Like, that That is bad, man. And look, Chouch brought this up. He thinks it's worse than the 3-1 lead. I mean, not the 3-1 lead, but the 28-3. Now, I think that one's always going to be worse because it happened in the Super Bowl.
No, it happened in the Super Bowl.
But I will add these qualifiers, Colb. It was Tom Brady that did it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And at least you waited until the fourth quarter in overtime to lose. Dog, they was up by 20 in the third quarter, and by the time they got the ball back in the fourth quarter, the game was fucking tied. Okay,
I couldn't believe it, bro. And I couldn't believe it, and it was so crazy watching it. It was like watching a car crash. But it's like watching a car crash from the very beginning of the car crash to the end. It was so bad.
To me, I was watching this game, and the whole game, I felt like I was watching a Final Destination movie. Because you know when you watching like a scary movie and they having some good shit happen and you nervous because you know that this is a fucking scary movie and this ain't going to end well for the people having fun right now. Like, you know that feeling you get? That's how I felt watching this game because I'm watching the Lions have all this fun. But I'm like, this movie ain't about the Lions. Like, this movie ain't never about the Lions. Like, this ain't about to be no feel-good NFC Championship game. This is a horror movie. And when Juszczyk caught that toe tap, I was like, oh, yes, Jason just showed up and he's watching everybody, dog.
Dog, I was so pissed, bro. No, that play where Brock Purdy, and I hate talking about Brock Purdy. I hate talking about him. I really
hey, give respect where it's due.
Absolutely
Brock
not.
Put him on the backpack, though.
Absolutely not, bro. He tried to throw an interception. He tried his hardest to throw a pick, and the DB lets the ball bounce off his face mask into Brandon Ayuk's hands. He is the luckiest quarterback. He's God's favorite. He is God's favorite. He's the
God's favorite versus God's best creation this Sunday, baby.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, hey, bro, I just have to accept he's the luckiest quarterback of all time. He is. I've never seen a quarterback.
That's where he's like Tom Brady. Like with Tom, people forget how much unfortunate, wild bullshit just happened to go in Tom's favor in the early years. Like because Tom eventually became great, like all-time great, we forget that it wasn't always like that with Tom, especially before like 2006. So we kind of like rewrite those years like, oh, Tom was actually a great quarterback. I'm like, no. Tom was very fortunate. Like we were seriously calling him a game manager back then. Like before that was a polite term to say about somebody. But hey, man, I was this close, dog. I was this close to thinking Detroit might not. Because I was like, you know what? It happened for Cleveland. Why can't it happen for Detroit? We had a game like that in the playoffs. But then I got back from my food, and I had every reason to never question that again. I was like, nah, dog. Nah, it's about to happen. Like, the second Ayuk dribbled that ball.
You know what really pissed me off? I was like, you know what? Not only did they lose, but it really wasn't Jared Goff's fault. like it wasn't that man's fault.
Hey, look, I've never seen Jared. You know how impressively you got to fuck up as a coach for you to blow a lead like that? And we talking about you?
Like, there were people on Twitter I really respect when they talk about football. And they were like, man, Jared Goff was bad in that second half. I was like, no, he wasn't. Nobody caught the ball. What did you want him to do, dog? They sold him out. His receiver sold him out much in the same way that Zay Flowers sold out Lamar in the AFC Championship game, dog. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about receivers not making plays when they're supposed to make plays. And how
you know what's funny, Cole?
Quarterback.
We swore that was going to be the Chiefs, right? Oh, we swore that was going to be the Chiefs. Hey, man, this is going to happen to the Chiefs, though. Wait. It's Pat, dog. This shit don't happen to Pat. Like, not in the playoffs. Like, look, whenever Pat looks weak in the regular season, that just means it's a good time to play him in the regular season, dog. Don't tell me about no fucking playoffs. It's a different... Nah.
I hate that we're doing this. Hey,
this was LeBron with the 4 seed.
They scored 17 points.
First off, I do think that just saying they scored 17 points is a bit dishonest. That was good defense being played in most of that game. Like it wasn't like the offense was bad. I thought the defense was spectacular in most of this game. And then if you watch the game, you saw the spectacular plays that both quarterbacks were making, especially in the first half of this game.
This is my point though. When we doing it's Pat, dog.
It's Pat.
They did nothing in that second half.
Who finished the game?
Second half,
except for finish the game.
Come on, man. It's more about what the Ravens. It's more about what the Ravens didn't do than what Pat actually did. Like it's basically more on them.
But guess
they
what?
Lost it more than
one team was in a position to make a play to get back into the game. Another team was in a position to end the game. And what team eventually ended the game? With what throw? Behind who? Pat. Like those are deep. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, of all people, it's Pat, dog. And then let's not cap. Pat was out there running that thing. Pat was running that thing more than the Ravens, right? Like, Pat was out there scooting.
That's why they lost. That's why they lost the game, dog. This is what pissed me off about the Ravens.
But you know why you don't run the ball if you're the Ravens? You in your own head. You know why? Because it's Pat, dog.
That's why.
Because it's Pat. That's why I said it's the Pat Mahomes of it all. If that was Blaine Gabbert in that game, run the fuck out the ball. But they're like, we got to put up points. It's Pat. It's Pat. We got to throw this thing.
They didn't score any points. This is why I'm pissed.
It's Pat.
I was like, y'all got your own. I was like, this is on Todd Monken more than anything else. First of all, dog, they ran the ball like with their running backs like 6 times all game. 6 times.
Well, how many carries did Lamar have? Because let's be real, Lamar's their leading rusher, and they're leading rushing attempts.
Like 5. I think he only had like 5. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
Here's the thing, though. I think that's Lamar's fault. Like Lamar was in a position to do something with his legs more often than not in this game, but he was so dedicated to wanting to win with the pocket. He was so stubborn in this game about running that ball.
What are you doing?
Like this is where I'm like,
prove people wrong. Like you trying to prove people wrong. Like, oh, I could pass. I could be a pass. Bro, if there was ever a game for you to feed into the stereotype that you are just a runner, this was the game to just do it. Because that was the way. That was the whole game plan to beat the Chiefs.
This is as much as I think Lamar Jackson is still the second best quarterback in the NFL. His biggest flaw is that he cares too much about how he's perceived. Like he just does. And you get these moments, right? Because I remember the Cincinnati Bengals talking about this. They spent the whole week purposely being like, well, he ain't really much from the pocket, because they knew if they did that, he would try to win from the pocket. Like, and look, he's not bad from the pocket. He's really not. But when he takes his own legs out the game, he does the defense's job for them. And it makes no sense that Brock Purdy and Pat Mahomes had more impressive runs this weekend than Lamar Jackson. But Lamar was like, he took himself out of it. Like there were just times where I'm like, hey, dog, you just got to run this. And it's unfortunate that the reasons he feels like this have nothing to do with anything he's ever done to himself. He played in a pro-style system. Like he does not deserve the pressure that ultimately created this mindset. But it is there, and he's always trying to kind of disprove it. It's kind of like, well, now I ain't gonna do that because then you're gonna talk about anime. But it's just one of those.
I was gonna talk about that anyway. But and I think he ran 8
one
times.
Of those,
I actually think Lamar ran 8 times in the game.
Yeah, and it's just. He had to be the leading rusher and the leading attempts, but it's one of these things where it's like, hey, sometimes Lamar, you gotta run, like you gotta put the team on your backpack. And Lamar's an excellent passer. I still think he's a really good passer, but he's ungodly as a runner. He's unmatched, and in these moments, and the reason he doesn't succeed in these moments is because he doesn't want to rely on his strongest tools in these moments, right? When it comes to winning and doing what you have to put the team on your back, for whatever reason, he's hell-bent on trying to prove that he could do it as a pocket passer. He doesn't have to. He can put the team on his back and running the football. Who gives a shit? Like, but he doesn't want to do it like that. he wants to prove to everybody that he's not one thing. And by doing that, he's giving everybody the leeway to talk this shit about him that they was going to talk about at the end of the day anyway.
Anyway, bro,
And
who cares? Who cares, man? You should have been the greatest Russian quarterback of all time in that game, and you probably would have won the game.
Because look, there are games where he can just dominate from the pocket and chill. But in a game like this, low scoring, Pat ain't scoring, you ain't scoring. All right, give me the ball. I'm about to run. Right? Like, we about to run Lamar left, Lamar right. Look, I don't know if I could trust Zay Flowers to hold on to this ball, but I can make somebody miss. Give me the ball, right? But instead of that, he wants to prove a point. You know what it's like? It's like, remember when teams used to goat LeBron into shooting jumpers?
Yep.
And he would just shoot all those jumpers to try to prove a point.
And the Cavs or the Heat would lose?
Oh, yeah. We were talking about like 2011. This happened all the time. 2011, well, 2007 to 2011, right?
Yeah.
Like this were the peak. Oh, just make LeBron shoot years, right?
Make LeBron shoot.
This is legitimately what they're doing with Lamar, where it's like he's not a bad jump shot shooter. He's not a bad pocket passer. But hey, man, every time he shoots a jump shot, you're like,
win.
Whoo. Hey, because if he did that other thing, I don't know what I'm about to do. And that's the thing. Like, he don't.
There's two plays in that game that stood out to me. And I tweeted about the first one, and you immediately replied. I got hit with the AO. I got hit with the AO on Twitter because I said, if you got a chance to finish the sack on Lamar and you don't do it, it's a distance. Yeah, they hit me with the AO. That's crazy. And I get that. I get that one. But he escapes, immediately throws a touchdown. Other play that stood out to me, that fourth down when they went for it, was a 4th and 1, and he got like 25 yards on the 4th and 1. It looked like he was
about when he threw the ball and it got tipped up and he caught it and almost ran that thing in. Like, at some point, it's kind of like watching. It is kind of like watching Brown, where you're like, bro, just go at the rim. They can't stop you. They couldn't do anything. Dunk. Like, you're unstoppable. But he wants to prove a point, and he does that. Like, it is eerily similar. Like, the feeling I get watching Lamar is the same frustrating feeling you got watching LeBron James in those last few years with the Cavaliers, where you're just like, you're literally the most unstoppable person when you just decide to just get to. Like, it took LeBron until Game 6 of 2012 to just say, you know what, dog? I'm dunking. I'm dunking, and you're not stopping it. I don't care how. I'm dunking. I'm doing it, right? And I'm just going to break your coverage like that. And Lamar, like, he's got to have one of these games where it's the fourth quarter, and he says to himself, I'm not putting this game in no damn Zay Flowers' hands. I'm not about to see what Isaiah Likely about to. I'm about to just tuck and run this shit and get us home. And he didn't. He was in a prime position to do it. If they would have done that,
they would have won.
You might have beat the Chiefs.
It's not even a might to me, dog. They would have won that game if he just ran it and they committed to running the ball. They would have won the game. They would have won the game.
And look, that ultimately you could blame Todd Monken for that, but if Lamar wanted to run and if Lamar wanted to get some runs in there, he could have said something. He Lamar fucking Jackson. Like, he's not helpless in this whole situation, right? Like, he's the highest paid employee on the team. I'm pretty sure if Lamar was like, we run it. Hey, you know what John said? We run it, dog. Like, that's what we about to do. Lamar want to run. We run it. You know what Lamar can always do? Check out of it. He know the plays. He can check out. Okay, we gonna run. What they gonna do? Bench him? Right? Like, that's the thing. With some guys, Jared Goff, we can use play calling as an excuse, right? Because Jared Goff ain't calling no fucking shots. Okay? Like, only shots he calls is at the bank and at the bar. Okay? That's the only time he calls shots. On that football field, ain't nobody like, yeah, man, well, Jared said he about to run twist. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's not what we about to do. Like, we running what I want to do. He's not in charge. Okay?
Hey, easy on my guy. Easy on my guy. It wasn't his fault they lost.
Is it not true?
It wasn't his fault they lost. Maybe they should give him a little bit more authority. Maybe things would have been
Oh yeah, he would have threw 2 interceptions, dog. Like we all know what it is. Jared Goff unsupervised. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Listen, it ain't his fault they lost. It ain't his fault. If I'm Jared Goff, I'm like, you know what? Y'all lost.
It was
Y'all
never
lost.
gonna be Jared. Look, here's the thing. It could only be Jared Goff's fault if they lost. like he would have to throw like 2 picks, but it ain't gonna be Jared Goff's fault if they won. We've been talking about Jamar Gibbs. That's what we was about to. We was about to make this thing about Jamar Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown because we know what's up at that quarterback position. But back to my main point, he's Lamar Jackson. I don't want to hear about no play calling. Like Todd Monken doesn't outrank you. I'm sorry, he just came here. He does not outrank you. Get the fuck out of here with the play call.
You want Lamar to be like, man, shut the fuck up, Todd. Listen, that's what
he's literally done it before, I'm pretty sure. Like, have you seen how Lamar talks to his teammates at times? Oh, yeah, you think he ain't never told the play call to shut the fuck up? Are you serious?
He be clapping. He be like, what the fuck?
He was so bad at Zay Flowers on that drive, dog.
He was livid, dog. He was livid.
Yeah, look, because he in charge.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Everything we said about what the Ravens should have done to win that game is true. But you know what's real fucked up? If Zay Flowers don't fumble that ball, they probably still would have won the game.
Nah, they don't win that game.
Man, if he scores there, I'm pretty sure they was gonna come back and win that game, dog. You can feel it. You can feel it.
If you were in a situation where you could get multiple scores up on the Chiefs, yeah. But look, man, close game. I like Lamar a lot. I think Lamar is great. That's still Pat, dog. And look, Pat gonna come up and rise to the occasion. Like, Pat ain't about to go out there and just get beaten in a close game. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you got to blow out Pat. I'm sorry. Hey, call it what you want, but I'm usually right. You got to blow out Pat. You got to get Pat the fuck out of here. Like, you can't play around. You get Pat down 14, score. Go for 2. Fuck it. No, don't. You can't let Pat breathe, dog. Like, nah. I'm not about to give Lamar Jackson the benefit of the doubt on Lamar over Pat Mahomes in a close game. I'm sorry. Like,
man, I was like, absolutely he fumbled not. That. He fumbled that ball, and I was just like,
but let's talk about that drive.
Any chance of the comeback? Any chance?
Because I saw that drive, and I was like, man, you know what? You know whose career that drive made me think of?
Who?
Deshaun Jackson. I was like, that's his whole career summed up in one drive right there. Deshaun Jackson's whole career. Huge play, incredible speed, talent. Okay, did a little bit too much there. Did a little bit too much, sent the team back. Yeah, but you know what? Came back, fought back hard, got that thing in the. Oh, what, he fumbled? Like that? Is that not Deshaun Jackson's entire career summed up in one drive by Zay Flowers? Look, people are on Zay Flowers' ass because he might have cost the Ravens a game, but nobody is talking about that art that he just dropped there. Like, I was like, yo, man, that man dropped some art in the middle of this game. Like, that's nuts to me. Because why did he extend the ball? I don't understand that. It ain't first down, it ain't second down, it ain't third down, it ain't fourth down, Colb. You just got a first down. You just try to get some yak. You know what you usually do? Right? And then you try to just get pushed into the end zone. That man, why? There was time.
There was no reason.
It was like 9 minutes in the first. Like, you don't. And look, people are going to be like, well, he's a rookie. You got to he ain't no rookie to football. You don't do that shit at any level of football, man. Like, any level of football.
I was talking about this in the chat, and one of the dudes in the chat, you know, he's in the NFL or whatever. And he was like, when you have an opportunity to score, you never get mad at a guy you never get mad at a guy for making the attempt to put points on the board. You never get upset about that. And I get that. And I'm just like, but dog, sometimes you just go down. Just go down. Just go down. We're fine.
Shout out to Rashad Higgins in Colb's chat, because like that's something you only say when you did it. No. I know.
Defensive player actually said it.
I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about. But yeah, look, hey, it's easy to say that on defense. You know who never says that? Quarterbacks. Ask a quarterback right now. Hey man, should you dive? No.
No.
Ask Lamar Jackson.
No. Go down.
Quarterbacks,
Next play.
coaches.
Score the next play.
Yeah, that's a player. So look, that has to come from a defensive player because defensive players got a selfish mindset about touchdowns because they don't come that often for them. So if you get an opportunity to score, of course you're gonna stretch that motherfucker out. You don't get no chances to do this shit. Zay Flowers got 8 touchdowns. Why the fuck he so thirsty to get this one? Just let it happen, dog. Hey man, you got big ass Gus Edwards and Lamar Jackson. You gonna get that yard. Like I promise you gonna get that yard, baby. Like you ain't gotta do this.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, bro, they literally go hand this ball off to Lamar or Gus Edwards, and they go score immediately.
Here's the thing that was nuts to me. I was so sure that call was going to be controversial. I saw that thing live. I'm like, ain't no way this ain't going to be a controversy. They're going to be talking about the league is rigged and all of this. And that replay showed, I was like, well, that's clear and concise evidence. He fumbled.
The clearest fumble I've ever seen in my life.
And look, man, I know the Ravens were still in it for like 10 minutes after that, but they were out of it, dog. They were completely out of it after that. Like that was, you know when it happens, dog, when your team does something and your team just starts to believe this ain't your night. Right? When Kyle Juszczyk toe taps on the sideline after you just fumbled the fucking ball and gave up a face mask touchdown. You know what that did to the Lions sideline? Hey, dog, we really not winning today. It ain't our year, right? Like Jeff Teague on the sideline when he was on the Bucks. Hey, man, I told you it ain't our year. Like, it just ain't in the cards. And then they won. He's like, but then Kyrie went down.
Shout out Jeff Teague. Shout out 520 because that's the funniest podcast out.
But that right there, that because what happened like the next drive, Roquan Smith just starting to push motherfuckers for no reason. Like just what salty, he got the saltiest penalty of all time at the end of this game.
Real quick. How happy were you? To get your Roquan slander off after they lost that game?
Bro, it's always there. My argument about Roquan is always this. He's good. He ain't nearly as good as y'all talk about him last. Like he is. You watch Fred Warner, right? You watch Fred Warner on the next game. You like, damn, look at Fred Warner making all these plays. If I'm like, hey man, Colb, show me your favorite Fred Warner play. You got a compilation to show me. Now tell me your favorite single Roquan Smith moment.
I'm gonna be real with you. I got multiple moments of JOK getting tackles for loss in games I can point to, be like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. Roquan?
Hey man, at what point does that matter? Like, I'm not saying I'm not making the TJ Watt argument. It was like, well, it's all about tackles for losses and everything. Like, no. I understand he has a job to do. He's a bike linebacker. He's not going to be roving around the line of scrimmage like Kyle Hamilton and Pat Queen. He's not an edge rusher. I get it. But he is like 30th in linebackers and tackles for loss. You know what else he's 30th in? Average depth of tackle. How does this shit not get talked? Like, people think I'm hating because I point this stuff out. But like, Cole, once you hear that, you go, damn, that don't sound like the Roquan Smith they talk about on TV. Don't that feel like I'm tripping? Like I'm making this shit up because the way they talk about this man on television, you would swear that those stats ain't there. And those aren't like bullshit stats. They are very relevant stats. Like I feel like average depth of tackle, that matters when you talk about how many tackles somebody got. He got a 4.8 average depth of tackle. You run at Roquan Smith 3 times, it's a first fucking down and some. What is this? You know what JOK's is? 1.8. But my beef isn't with Roquan as much as how perplexed I am that this very logical argument gets yelled at like I'm just being an asshole for no reason. I'm like, it's right there. And then every time, here's how I know Roquan is not as good as everybody says. Whenever I say this shit about Roquan, you know what the defense always is? It's not numbers, right, that matter. They bring up total tackles, even though Hey man, I don't give a fuck about your total tackles when you average 5 yards after. Like you ain't a safety. You line up 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and you tackling dudes 4.8 yards. You're not even moving. What the fuck? Like no, like that's not good. That's really not good. But here's the thing that gets me. Every time I make these arguments, these sound, well-researched arguments about Roquan Smith, you know what I get? Well, Quincy, he joined that Ravens team, and the vibe of that defense just changed. I'm like, he just fucking vibes. Like it's just Roquan with the vibes. Like that's worth a second round pick because he got good vibes. That's everything. He just changed the vibes. He's such a locker room leader. And I'm like, you know what? That sounds like some bullshit. That's what we say about Anthony Walker. Like. What you mean, dog? We making him out to be the second coming of Ray Lewis because he doing the same shit we praise Anthony Walker for? Holding it down in the middle, making sure the play calls get in, making sure everybody's aligned, and then making tackles 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and keeping the vibes high. I'm like, he's Anthony Walker with a Prada bag. That's literally how they describe him. And I get called an asshole for pointing out that might not be one of the best 5 linebackers in football. That's all you can say about him. Like we never are. I've never seen this tweet. Roquan's dominating and controlling this game. I've seen him tweet about Fred Warner like that. I've seen him tweet about J.O.K. like that. I've seen him tweet about Kyle Hamilton like that. I've seen him tweet about Pat Queen like that, but it ain't never Roquan. Where was Roquan when it was a time to make a turnover or a big sack on Pat Mahomes? Everybody else is doing it. Where was Zero? High-fiving motherfuckers, keeping the vibes high. And that's all I'm saying. Like, dog, we giving a lot of hype. He's not even the third or fourth best player on that defense. Matabuke's a better playmaker. Pat Queen's a better playmaker. Kyle Hamilton's a better playmaker. Brandon Stevens been a better playmaker this year at corner than him. But then I point that out and they go, well, Quincy, you simply don't understand. Roquan Smith unlocks them all. So because other people are doing shit, he getting credit. He getting magical assists. All right, dog. All right.
You hate this man so much.
I don't hate this man. I don't hate Roquan Smith. I think he's a fine enough dude. But I hate the arguments for Roquan Smith. I'm like, these are the dumbest arguments, man, that are mainstream.
This is your NFL Carl Anthony Towns. That's who he is. That's who he is.
Every time I get proven right. Every time I get proven right. Every time I get proven right about this.
Well, you hate hard.
It's because I don't hate the player. I hate the arguments that they use to prop the player up because I'm like, this is clear and obvious bullshit.
You actually hate Cat. You actually hate Cat.
No.
Draymond Green choked out Rudy Gobert, and the first thing you said was, it should have been Cat. That is hate, sir. That is real hate. You really hate that man.
Yeah, somebody pointed out, I need to Stephen A. Smith that tape. Roquan Smith is a baller. Right? University of Georgia.
Why are y'all asking for impressions?
But that man's straight garbage. He's straight garbage. He never shows up in a big moment. He has small hands. He can't catch the ball. And then the 49ers were talking shit about Roquan Smith too in Instagram Live. And I was like, I've made it. I've made it.
He was like, he looks sad. Look at him. He looks sad. He's sad.
All that shit. Hey, I'm just saying, if it becomes popular to hate on Roquan Smith, I Soulja Boy that shit. You know where it started. Because it started here. They stole that shit from me. Okay.
We got super chats about the Ravens. We got to get some. So we start talking about something else.
All right, damn. Finally, a stream time in time for the Still Told squad to catch it. Rooting for the Chiefs because I don't want to see fraudulent Purdy win the Super Bowl.
Oh, hold on. Thank you for saying that. That man is a fraud, bro. That man is a fraud. I'm so tired of acting like he's good, dog. I'm so sick of pretending that Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. He's not good, man. He's not. He tries to turn the ball over at least 4 or 5 times a game. The other team just don't catch it. That's all it is. And then he make a couple plays, and everybody's like, "Oh, y'all were saying he's a game manager." He is a game manager. He literally is. That's what he is, dog. That's what he is. You know who he is? You know who he is, Q? You remember that 08 Celtics team? We talked about it last week. You know that 08 Celtics team? You remember?
You about to call him Rondo?
He's Rondo. That's what he is. He's Rajon Rondo. That's who he is. He is 08 early Rajon Rondo. You know what Rajon Rondo's job was?
He had the good vibes on defense, and he brought a championship mentality.
You know what his main job was?
You know, he did a good job facilitating.
Get the ball to the stars, and you make sure you get it to them in their spots, and you make sure you get it to them on time. He is Rajon Rondo in 08.
They don't win that championship if it's Derek Fisher pushing that ball. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have the right guy.
Derek Fisher won the next 2 championships. I don't know about that, bro.
Was he the starting point guard at that point?
Yes, he was the starting point guard in all of Kobe's 5 championships. He was starting. All 5? I'm pretty sure all 5.
Fucking way. He was starting in 2013. Well, no, 2011.
2009, 2010. He was the starting point guard of Los Angeles Lakers. Yes.
It's funny as hell.
Beat Rondo in 2010, as a matter of fact.
It's funny as hell you don't think about Ron Artest having championship rings, because like it feels like Meta World Peace and Ron Artest are legitimately 2 different people. Because I was watching that Malice in the Palace documentary. I was like, damn, man, it's sad that Ron didn't get to get that ring. I'm like, shut up, Quincy, he got the ring. Meta World Peace. But it just felt like such a different dude, because I don't feel like Meta World Peace would have done that. But Ron would have.
You know what we don't talk about? You know how we talk about that? You know how we talk about that Draymond performance in 2016 in Game 7, even though they lost?
Yeah.
That Ron Artest performance in Game 7 in 2010, low key is the reason high key is the reason they actually won. He was hooping. But we get distracted. What the other super chat saying? What the other super chat saying?
We're not a very focused group here. Let me bring Greg in so Greg can push us into the super chats. Hey, Greg.
What's up, guys?
Hey, everybody, this is Greg.
Hey, I don't normally look this red. My camera's being weird. I'm a very normal looking guy.
Nah, he's still mad about the Buckeyes hiring Bill O'Brien. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, there's steam coming out of my ears. All right. Mike Walk 32. That Zay Flowers fumble should be called the fumble 2.0.
I wish Zay had a more better like Zay fumbles.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad the Ravens fans get to feel a little bit of that pain that we got to feel. I'm glad.
Man, I want to hear what Raven fans sounded like when Zay Flowers fumbled that.
Say,
bro, what? Bro, you not fumble this shit.
You gotta be kidding me,
bro. That ball not out, bro. Bro, fuck your team, bro.
I'm so happy they lost.
I wish the Ravens could make the Super Bowl just so they could lose again, dog. Hey, man, we some haters because we really gotten more joy out of these losses than some wins. Greg kicks to the next super chat. Please.
Yeah, we got one more here from Nelson Gonzalez that says, "Nah, dog. Lamar is a choke artist. He has had the perceived best team in the league 2 times and is choked. That's why the Ravens didn't want to pay him. And by the way, he's not MVP with that lame middle of the road stats."
See, we having fun.
See,
we was having fun. We was having fun. Come on now, Nelson.
We appreciate you though, Nelson. We appreciate you though, Nelson.
Nelson, you saw an opportunity. I understand, and you wanted to get your hater agenda off. But like, we're not about to erase the whole season.
And we're not above hating on here. We're absolutely not above.
We're
hating.
absolutely not. But see, you gotta. There's a rail. You know what I mean? Like we can't. That's too much. That's too much, man. Come on. We know Lamar's really good at quarterback. We've seen it happen to us.
He needs to embrace running. Who cares? Who gives a fuck what these people got to say?
You know when he don't ever forget you know what pisses me off when he does that shit? He don't ever forget he can't run. He don't ever forget that he can run the football when he play us. He always missed to run the fucking ball against us. Right? He always remember he got in legs when he play us. And when he played Detroit or when he played fucking Kansas City, all of a sudden it's like, no, I don't want to run the ball. I want to win this game off principle. Where's that principle? Where is this standing on business when you play the fucking Browns, Lamar? All right. Yeah. I dare Lamar to beat the Browns without running the ball. You fucking running back. Is this what we gotta do? Is this what we gotta do?
We gotta lean into it from now on.
Yeah. It's like, hey, next time JOK get out there, it's like, hey man, all we gotta do is get that motherfucker to throw. And then he need to come back out and one of them outfits that he be in, just stand in the middle of the Baltimore L and be like, yeah, what you gonna do? Run to me? Yeah, because that's all you can do, Lamar. Run. Yeah. Yeah. And then that way we can finally beat the Ravens 2 times in 1 year. Like that might be great.
That's all the super chats, by the way.
Appreciate you, Greg.
Appreciate you, Greg.
For sure.
Listen.
We're gonna try to get back, folks. Did we cover both of the? Okay, let's talk about the Browns offensive coordinator hire, man.
I'm about to say, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about
Greg,
it.
do you mind if I kick you backstage?
Yeah, you could send me back to the
back to the shadow realm.
Yeah,
back to the shadow realm.
So plus ultra. All right. So
that's not how you know what? We'll get there. We'll get there.
No, everybody's made fun of me. Nobody's explained this to me. But let's talk about the Browns offensive coordinator. I want to know, who the fuck are you guys listening to? They got y'all so riled up about Ken Dorsey. Like, who is it that is getting you riled up about Ken Dorsey? This is not a get riled up about hire. This is not a get. I saw somebody, Colb, I'm not exaggerating. You go in my comments right now. Search for newest. There was a gentleman that said, that's it. I can't watch the Browns anymore. I quit. Like, this made somebody quit the Browns. Ken Dorsey. And I'm like, what is eliciting this reaction? The Browns hired Ken Dorsey. I'm like, we should have known when people was reacting to Tommy Rees, when we was losing our mind over a fucking tight ends coach, how people are gonna react about the offensive coordinator. And this is why I was like, this is the one hire you can't really react to in real time. Because it's not like when you hired Jim Schwartz last year, where he was gonna have a pretty clear, obvious role as the coordinator of the defense. Like, he was gonna pretty much be in charge of that whole thing. This is a whole different thing where it's like, we don't even know what his responsibilities are. Like, the opening press conference hasn't happened, and people have already determined this thing a failure in their minds. And I'm like, Ken Dorsey is the most neutral hire that you could have. And for people to be losing their minds like this, like, who is making y'all this mad about Ken Dorsey? Like, really? Like, even if you want to point to, oh, well, he got fired and the Bills got better. Which, I mean, their numbers suggest the offense didn't get better, but the Bills did get better. So if that's what you want to roll with, that's cool. He still has relevant experience that would make you encouraged to see what he can do with another opportunity as an offensive coordinator. He was a quarterback's coach when Cam won the MVP. And Cam plays a very similar style to not Lamar Jackson, to Deshaun Watson. And then he worked with Josh Allen, who also plays a similar style to, I can't fucking talk today. Deshaun Watson. I did too much driving, but he has a similar play style to Deshaun Watson. And he was there as the quarterback's coach for Josh Allen when he made that transition. Brian Daboll got all the credit for it. Are we sure we want to give him all that credit after watching Brian Daboll on his own? This is the second time he failed as an offensive coordinator, by the way, because I had to watch that first time. You remember that, Cole? Remember them Daboll offenses? Yeah, I knew that shit wasn't on Daboll. They're trying to give all that credit to Brian Daboll. I'm like, come on, it's Josh Allen, maybe his quarterback's coach. But yeah, and he had a couple good years as an offensive coordinator, and then he had this year where he got kind of fired. Who knows what the reason was for that? And it's funny to me because it's like, bro, we saw this with Todd Monken, where it's like, hey man, maybe your offensive coordinator is actually good, but the situation's just not right. But either way, like this isn't a pound the table. The Browns hit a home run higher. Like that would be stupid. And this isn't a pound the table. I'm mad because the Browns hired. This is the most. All right, well, we'll see if the offense looks better. Like higher of all time. Like I'm shocked that there's this much discussion. And it just seems like the reason that this is a discussion is because people perceive the Bills' offense is getting better without him. But then why did you want Kellen Moore?
This is the thing.
Because if you wanted Kellen Moore, hey, man, Kellen Moore left and people thought Dak should win MVP.
I'm saying he's been an offensive coordinator for how many years? How many seasons? I think 5.
Who? Ken Dorsey?
Oh, I'm talking about Kellen Moore.
Oh, Kellen Moore's been offensive coordinator since like 2018.
Yeah, so like 5 seasons. I think he's only had like a 5 or 6 seasons. I think he's only had like a top 10 offense once. And I think that was his very first season. Like, why would you want? But why did people want that guy? Ken Dorsey was the guy I was like, okay, you could probably switch up the offense. He was successful. He was successful in Buffalo. So if anybody, with a resume that you wanted that was available, he would be the guy. I was like, that's probably a decent hire. It wasn't anything that made me want to like get angry or jump up and down or like none of that. I'm just like, all right, that's pretty cool. We'll see what happens. Like I don't really know. I don't know why people got upset.
I don't know what people wanted. Like there wasn't even like one name where like last year I was worried that people were gonna flip their shit at the Browns and hire Brian Flores because everybody was like, we need Brian Flores. And I was like, hey, let's not get married to a name. We just need a better defensive coordinator than we had last year. Browns just need a different offensive philosophy than they had last year. Well, Ken Dorsey is that. But I don't know, Todd. Like this is a process, right? This is Kevin collaborating with Ken and Ken collaborating with Deshaun and those three coming together and creating an offense. That's going to take some time. We're not going to know what that's going to look like. And look, we're going to be in camp still trying to figure it out, right? But it's just, I don't know why people are freaking out. And then I see the accounts that are freaking out and I'm like, these are the same fucking people.
Mm-hmm.
Like not every person that's like been mad. I don't want to. If you're the one person who's not and doesn't want somebody to take over play calling, okay, I'm specifically not talking about you. But we all know that a lot of these accounts are like, oh yeah, this is a terrible hire. I hate this. Let Kev call an end around at the wrong time. We should get the play calling to Ken Dorsey. Right? Like immediately you're gonna make that man your savior. Like I don't know why we're doing this. Like we have not enough information to be this mad about Ken Dorsey or even this happy about Ken Dorsey. Like I feel like we're already getting to a stupid place with this because like the polarization, people got so mad about it that it's forcing people to be extra positive. And I'm like, hey man, don't nobody gotta feel anything right now. Literally nothing has happened.
Man, you don't even know what they're gonna do with the offense. We might have completely different personnel by the time the season rolls around. You know what I'm saying? And they probably are gonna have completely different personnel on the offensive side of the football. Probably gonna look a little bit different on defense too. We won't get too far into that. We'll save that for when stuff's actually happening. But I just want everybody to relax, man. I just want everybody to relax. We'll see what's happening. You don't know. We don't,
man.
We don't know.
On edge, dog.
We don't know,
what's
man.
going on. But hey, man, I promise you, it's gonna be all right, y'all. Like they won 11 games with 26% of this roster on IR. Hey, man. They probably go win 10 to 13 games next year. Like, I'm pretty sure. Deshaun Watson, yeah. Who knows how he looks? Okay, like I don't know. I'm kind of in wait and see mode. I'm pretty confident the team's still gonna be good, but we're just talking about how far they can go. But people are reacting to everything as if it's life or death, and I'm like, Please relax. Please.
They needed to spice it up on offense. They needed a different philosophy. They needed new ideas in the room, man. That's all it was. They've been doing the same stuff since Kevin got here. Eventually, especially when you play teams like the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Ravens, if you've been doing the same thing, running the same plays, same outside zone, people, whatever they're doing, if you see it enough, it becomes predictable. It becomes stale. Remember that Steelers game? How the Steelers defense was talking about it, especially when they got that fumble. They were like, "Oh yeah, like we knew what it was. He was gonna turn his back, and as soon as he turned his back, I just went for it and I got it." I'm like, "Yeah," because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's time for Kevin to switch it up. So Kevin switched it up, and the same people that have been begging for him to give up play calling for like the last 4 seasons. They finally bring in somebody who could potentially call the plays, and now they're upset about it. Let's just see what happens.
Hey, man, everybody ain't got to be listened to. That's the number one thing I've learned during this whole process. I try to listen to everybody and hear everybody's point out. But then I get something, like you saw that tweet. You saw what I tweeted out. So when somebody commented on one of my videos about Cam Newton, they're like, Ken Dorsey's worked with Cam Newton. It's not like he was ever good. He's a bum. He's always been a running back. This and that. I'm like, you know what, man? Not everybody deserves a thought. Not every argument is worth it. Like, hold on. I'll have to go mute on this one because I don't want the public to hear what I'm going.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. If you was trying to hope that was private, just so I can hear it.
Yeah, I'll tell you afterwards. But look, man, there's been some very notable people who have decided can't bring them all, man. Can't bring them all. Like sometimes I get these arguments. I'm trying to get people to get to a reasonable place. I'm just like, you said Cam Newton was never good? All right. Like we're not on the same planet.
He's always been a running back. It's just like I feel like you're telling on yourself a little bit, just a little bit. It's tiny.
He could never throw or process. I was like, ooh buddy.
This is sounding a little
charged.
Hey, a little charged. You know what I'm saying? A little charged.
No, why were you doing him like he played in the ACC? Like, like.
I'm feeling uncomfortable. I
don't feel like that reply was all about football.
feel like we have reached something a little bit deeper.
Yeah, but it's just I don't understand why there's such a strong reaction. And look, there's going to be somebody who's going to leave like a 14-page comment and tell me why he has a strong reaction or she has a strong reaction to this hire. And it's probably going to have something to do with, well, they didn't improve or stink when he's gone. And I'm just begging people to understand. Correlation does not directly imply causation. That maybe some other factors were in play. Right, why they were able to get better. Maybe the schedule got a little easier. Maybe they just started catching the fucking football. Maybe Josh Allen saw people getting fired and said, let me stop fucking up for a couple weeks. Like, maybe James Cook started to find some holes. Like, maybe, I don't know. Either way, there's no reason to go out on a limb on Ken Dorsey. There's also no reason to cut your leg off over Ken Dorsey. Like, this is just, hey man, this reminds me of another thing that I've learned from the great Bomani Jones. You don't always got to have an opinion on everything. Like, there's no need to be first on this one. Like, you don't need to be the first guy in your group text to call this one a failure. Like, I promise you, nobody cares who was first.
We only care about who's right. We only don't care about who's right.
And even then, we don't even care. Like, if we don't like you and you were right, you weren't right. Fuck you. Like, that's usually how When's the last time you see somebody who hates on Stephen A. Smith be like, well, Stephen A. Smith gets it right sometimes? Like, no, that's not how that works. It ain't worth it. Look, being right is one of the most not worth it things. Like, it always seems worth it. And sometimes it's just like, you ain't got to be first. And we don't even know if you're right. This is so up in the air. I'm like, there is evidence to suggest that the offense might be fine with Nick Chubb next year. like that might just be enough. Like, Nick Chubb, David Njoku, Amari Cooper, at a wide receiver. Might not fucking matter, dog. I feel like we're forgetting. We're doing all, like, people are doing all this panicking. And I'm like, yo, are we forgetting that the team is fucking good? Like, are we doing
stuck in that same old Browns? I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I know something bad's gonna happen. And the fact of the matter is, dog, they haven't been that since Kevin and Andrew Berry have been here for real. And the 2 seasons they had losing records, like Baker got hurt and stuck. And then Deshaun was suspended for 11 games. Like, there were reasons.
Who's like, well, we got blown out in the playoff game when we started Joe Flacco, our 4th starting quarterback. Same old Browns. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dog. We don't ever make the fucking playoffs with our 4th quarterback. That ain't no same old Brown shit. That is not.
We barely made the playoffs with our 1st string quarterback. What are you talking about?
Well, to be fair, Colb, I think we've legitimately made the playoffs one time with our starting quarterback.
I think
out
twice.
of the 3. No,
I think
once.
twice. Is it once?
Kelly Holcomb.
Oh, Lord.
Kelly Holcomb. Kelly Holcomb. Joe Flacco. Baker Mayfield.
Salute to Kelly Holcomb.
Hey, had his own barbecue sauce at Burger King in select locations. Even when I was a kid, I remember being like, why the fuck he got his own barbecue sauce? Remember Brian Hoyer had Mr. Heroes commercials?
Man, every Cleveland athlete has had a Mr. Heroes commercial.
Not every.
Anderson Varejao had one, didn't he?
I'm just saying, not every athlete gonna have a Mr. Heroes commercial because
Greg
enough sense.
Greg said Hugh Jackson had a Mr. Heroes commercial.
Wait, let's bring Greg back. Let's summon Greg.
I'm Googling it right now just to double check that I didn't have like psychosis and just imagine it. But
Hugh Jackson.
Let me see. No, I see. If you Google image Hugh Jackson, Mr. Hero, he had one. I remember it was his first year before people realized.
I'm about to really test the formula. Greg, Google Deshaun Watson, Mr. Hero.
If he got one. If he
There's
got one,
no way.
it's the kiss of death. It's the kiss of death.
There's no way.
No, there's no Deshaun Watson, Mr. Hero.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We kept the soul of the city safe.
The soul of the city.
Hey man, we can't have him out here touching landmarks. Like, just play football, big dog. That's all we need you to do.
No, it's crazy because my cousins from Georgia, whenever they come up to Cleveland, they're like, first place they stop, Mr. Heroes. I need that. I need that Roman burger for sure.
The Roman burger, yeah.
I Googled Cleveland Browns Mr. Hero, and Cleveland Scene has an article written in May of 2016, and the headline is just, Mr. Hero is the scourge of Cleveland's professional athletes.
Wow. The scourge?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, real talk though, once the team started getting over 500 consistently, like, we don't need to see David Njoku on no damn Mr. Heroes commercial. He's much too big for that, dog. Like, could you imagine Myles Garrett trying to sell you a fucking Roman burger? But hey, Joe Thomas though. Hey, he was selling the Roman burgers for sure.
Absolutely.
Joe Thomas, Joe Batonio, Alex Mack.
Brian Hartline.
Mitchell Schwartz, Brian Hartline, everybody that you love that used to play for the Browns that coaches now, they sold them Mr. Heroes.
Did Phil Dawson have a Mr. Hero?
You know, he probably had a sandwich named after him called the Extra Fucking Point, number 4.
Somebody please, if Phil Dawson and Josh Cribbs had to have one.
Yeah, I don't see any Phil Dawson images. I'll look up Josh Cribbs.
You know Josh Cribbs had one.
You know Josh had one. I'm sure Joe Hayden had one too.
I don't see any pictures for Josh Cribbs either. Maybe some of these might be. Maybe there's rare ones. It's like you got to collect them all, you know?
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, they're like a rare Mr. Hero. Anybody got that Montario Hardesty? I'm looking for that Isaiah Crowell.
Hey, no, did you see that tweet on Twitter where they were just like, "Hey, we're in the group chat just naming obscure running backs or obscure wide receivers," and I'm just like, man, I wonder, do people remember Muhammad Massaquoi?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, number 11. He could have catch.
Do people remember Brian Rubisky?
Hey, dog, remember when he had him and Greg? What was it? Greg Lewis?
Greg Little.
Greg Little.
Yeah, and Greg Little was every coach's fucking nightmare. Beautiful wide receiver, could run them routes, big body. Literally, Greg Little. Here's what I mean. Greg Little is literally what you dream of when you think of a wide receiver. He's like 6'3". He inappropriate. See, you don't watch. You don't regress into your 2007 self, Colb.
Listen, I'm sorry, they caught me off guard. That's
yeah. But Greg Little was like, he was a pretty good route runner too. But boy, he could catch that ball worth shit. And it's like you got to keep throwing it to him because he's open all the fucking. It's like what if Terrell Owens couldn't catch? That's Greg Little.
Great Stone Hands Little, man.
He ain't catch nothing. He ain't catch nothing, dog. Hey, analytics would love him. They'd be like, his open percentage is crazy. He's such a slept-on wide. Look, there's some people I love and respect in this community that would hung on to Greg Little for way too long. Because them advanced analytics was nuts on him.
Since I'm here, we do have a couple more super chats we could fire off. Seize the opportunity.
Let's get them. Y'all know we get distracted. We
got blank 964 says Lamar stood on business. That game he had 4 turnovers. Problem was Baker stood on BS.
Oh yeah, we did get the Lamar. I'm refusing to run the ball game, and we lost. I hate it, dog. I hate it, dog.
This is 2 pods in a row. This is 2 pods in a row. Y'all have brought up that fucking game that broke my spirit.
And you know how they bring up every time the Browns like play on national TV, they give us the fucking doom scroll where it's like, oh, you remember the drive? Now let's look at the fumble. And then they took the fucking team, and then they sucked for 20 years. Hey, Browns fans, do you remember all of this? Look at this shit. We need to do that to Baker Mayfield every time he played a fucking national TV game. Hey, remember when he lost to a quarterback who threw 4 interceptions on national TV? We don't ever bring that shit up. They should bring that up like they bring up the drive, okay? Because in Cleveland, it gets brought up every week. The man ain't played quarterback here since 2021, okay? And he's still fresh in everybody's mind because we're all just like, we've seen a lot of shit. You know, as Browns fans, we've seen a lot of shit. We ain't never got 4 interceptions in a game and lost. Like, that ain't usually how it goes.
I can't believe it. I still can't. Every time it gets brought up, I'm just like, how the fuck did Baker?
Correct me if I'm wrong. They low key kind of pulled away at the end. Like they won by 3, but they were in scoring position to end the game with the ball in control. Like,
Oh yeah.
Hey man. Hey, Every time people get excited about Baker Mayfield, I'm like, look, man, go rewatch the end of that 20 and 21 season. Every time somebody says some shit like, I just don't understand why people would be mad at Baker Mayfield. I'm like, look, you can watch Baker Mayfield throw for 5 touchdowns to understand why people would love him, right? We can all acknowledge that. You can watch him throw for 5 touchdowns against the Bengals. Just watch his Bengals tapes. And you're like, oh, man, I can see why people love him, man. He's all brash and all this shit. Like, yeah, I get it. Okay, the same way I could watch that and see why people love him. The end of 2021 is like, yeah, this is why motherfuckers hate him. Like this, the last 5 games. You know what? Let me look it up right now.
Oh, here we go. See, that's why I don't like bringing up the game. That's why I don't like bringing up the game. Because when you bring up that game,
2021.
You go on a tangent. You go on a tangent every single time. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Because that stretch was crazy. And that's all I ask with when we talk about Baker Mayfield. It's just like, let's not pretend like the bad ain't done. We all saw it. Okay. So he lost that game. By the way, the Browns went into oh my God. The stretch started. So for those of you who need a reminder, 2021.
Here
we
go.
cut Odell Beckham after losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers 10-15. 10-15. 10-15. We thought this team could go to the fucking Super Bowl that year, dog. They lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 10-15. And then they cut Odell Beckham. And you know what? We played the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cincinnati Bengals are always just we beat them too easily. We can't ever do nothing off of beating this. They're the best team we can beat, and it means nothing. They won that game to start the season this year, and it meant nothing to nobody. They were like, oh, yeah, well, they always do that to the Bengals. 41-16, and we thought everything was fixed, Cole. Remember that? We better without Odell. Remember what Baker Mayfield, we was doing that whole ridiculous bullshit where we were like, oh, well, look at Baker's stats. Remember that, Greg? Baker's stats with Odell. Baker's stats without Odell. Maybe he's just better without. Look at how he balled against the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'll never forget there was a meme of the caption was Baker Mayfield without Odell Beckham, and it was prime Peyton Manning was the picture somebody posted.
Oh yeah, we was in it. Yeah, we was. Look,
we was there. We
all tweeted some things that we'd rather not talk about in that time frame. And then the very next game, you go to New England, you play McCorkle Jones and the fucking Patriots.
Ooh, I remember this.
45-7.
I remember
and it was
that.
over. It was over. Yeah, all that optimism was done. You lost 45-7, and then you had the least convincing win of all time over an 0-whatever Lions team. You beat them 13-10, a game so bad in which Baker Mayfield refused to do the press conference in a game where he fucking won. Okay,
all bad.
So it's pretty bad right now, right? Just the Patriots and the Detroit Lions game. That's pretty bad, right? Greg, you would agree? Like
it's rough.
Okay, then he follows that up with Lamar Jackson throwing 4 interceptions, and you lost 10-16. But hey, got that bye week. Beat Tyler Huntley. Let's go. Yeah, we back, baby. Division killers. You know what, dog? We 7-6. We just beat the Ravens. We only got the Raiders, the Packers, and the Steelers and the Bengals in front. We might make a run, Cole. We might get hot. Hey.
Why are you making us relive this? Why are you making us relive this?
We might get hot, Cole. Because we need to remember. No, the people need to remember how he made you feel. All right, because I'm tired of people acting like they don't remember it. No, we need to remember what we felt like. It's like every day, every time there's Greg, every time there's an MLK Day, my dad makes sure that we remember what MLK had to go through. Right, so we remember what it felt like back then. This is to never forget, right? Some of y'all do this for 9/11.
This took a turn. Okay, yeah. Sean McDermott. Hey. Let's relax. Let's relax.
I'm legitimate. Like some people, legitimately watch those timeline videos of what happened on 9/11, in real time, so they remember how it felt, so they don't forget what can happen when you let security down or whatever. whatever the moral is. So 7-6. Okay, it's wild to compare that to football. Let me never do that. Never do that again.
That's exactly how you just felt is exactly how Sean McDermott felt.
I see how he got there.
Came out.
I see how he got there.
See what I'm saying? That's how you felt.
Hey, dog, when you talk about football so much, dumb shit's bound to come out. So they played the Raiders. Now, I'm going to give the Browns a pass on this one. They had to start like a third-string quarterback. What was it? Who was it? Like
It was. I was at that game. It was Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins.
We had a bunch of like JV wide receivers out there. It was
yeah.
crazy.
So it was like a COVID thing, right?
Yeah, it was a COVID game.
Yeah.
Kevin wasn't coaching that game either. Alex Van Pelt was calling the plays, and that went well.
Yeah, man. People don't ever bring that one up, right? Every time they're like, "Well, Alex caught the plays in the playoff game." People don't ever bring up that one. Also, man, Alex didn't call no crazy plays in the fucking playoff. Okay, he got a 14-point lead before he touched the ball. And then he gave it to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And then they got 28 points. All right, so, we 7-7. But you know what, man? We beat the Packers. We changed the narrative. Baker Mayfield, man.
The other game that broke everybody.
But I'm telling you, dog, from November 7th, like after that Bengals game to the end of the season, I will contend to you and die on this hill. That was Baker Mayfield's best game in the second half of that season. And he threw 4 interceptions. That's how bad it was, dog. I remember being like, hey, man, I'm just glad they moved the fucking ball. Because it was that brutal.
We do. If we want to lighten up the mood, the next super chat is about the Ravens.
No, fuck all that. Then they went to Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, Big Ben's retirement game. No, I'm never forgetting this, by the way. Big Ben's retirement game on national TV. And we won't ever hear the end of TJ Watt because of what Baker Mayfield allowed to happen on that day. Like, we still got to hear about TJ Watt till this day because of Baker Mayfield giving up 6 of them boys to them. By the way, they only lost that Green Bay game by 2.
Oh, yeah. I know.
If he just throws 3 interceptions.
3 interceptions. They win. A lot of those games.
Man, but you know what? We beat the Bengals. We swept the Bengals. Think about what happened that was sandwiched in between sweeping the Bengals. All of that happened in between Bengal wins.
You notice how you're the only one laughing? Because it hurts. It hurts, dog. It hurts.
I would be so mad. Like, the Bengals went to the Super Bowl that year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
How the fuck they get swept by us that year? Like, that don't make any sense. Oh, and look, I know they had backups in 2021 at that last game. But, dog, we wasn't good enough to beat their backups.
Was that the Bengals game Baker, refused to play in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about that either. Nobody ever talked about that.
Hey, man. Hey, when they like you. But
when they like you.
When they like you, what do you get away? Hey. Let PJ Walker be like, I'm not playing in that last game.
If DCR was like, nah, I ain't doing it. I ain't gonna get it.
They ain't even got it. Let Zach Wilson decide something like that. Like,
oh, Zach Wilson, who blamed his teammates after a loss. Zach Wilson.
Hey, Colb. You remember that? When he did that interview with Fox before the game, and he was talking about, yeah, man, there's just a lot of stuff going on in our locker room, and you know, I can do my job, but people got to catch too. It's like, hold on. There's so much we forgot about 2021 that people just like swipe under the rug. Like, and I get why they swipe it under the rug, because like you brought in the nasty man after that. Like, absolutely gonna make you forget that all that happened. But,
Nasty man.
yeah, shout out to Bomani Jones for coining that phrase. You traded for the nasty man after that. But hey, I see how they got there. Like,
hey, no, I see how they got there. It's crazy.
Not a single one of us didn't understand why they made that trade at the time.
It's crazy. In retrospect, it's crazy to say, like, oh, I see why they got there.
Yeah,
at the time,
it sounds crazy. You're like, how does the team get there? But hey, none of us that were alive in that summer, at the very least, if we didn't like the move, we were like, yeah, I get why they made a move, but this is crazy.
I'm gonna skip ahead to this last super chat we just got because it's about this exact topic, but it's from RayRags14, and he said, if I remember correctly, the Packers only scored 3 points on drives. The Browns didn't turn the ball over. Bake them, gave them 21 on my effing Christmas.
Yep. Baker ruined Christmas. Literally could not score unless Baker turned the ball over.
That's just a man of charity, man. See, look, y'all out here trying to demonize his good deeds. Maybe Aaron needed that. Like, have we ever considered that, Colb? Huh? That Aaron needed a win that day more than us?
No, never considered that.
If I remember correctly, the first interception, he just threw it downfield. Like I remember watching it, and I tried to make sense of it. There was one interception in that game where I tried to make sense of it live, and I just couldn't. I was like, I don't know. He just made a mistake. I don't know how he got there.
I just don't know.
Because usually an interception happens, you can process why it happened. Like, okay, he just didn't see this. Maybe they were doing this, and this guy snuffed it out. Like, you know, interceptions aren't that hard to diagnose. No, there were a couple in there where I'm like, yeah, man. I think he just threw that shit.
Bro, you know what's crazy? And I just noticed this. We could talk about anything that happened to the Browns in the last 3 years and just be perfectly fine doing it. The Cavs have been incredible all season, and we don't give these dudes like 5 minutes of our
Donovan Mitchell is playing some of the best basketball in his life right now.
They literally
and we out here talking about Ricardo Lewis.
They literally got Evan Mobley back tonight. They're playing and beating the Clippers, who have been playing well right now. We don't even give these dudes 4 seconds of our life. Why are we like this? Why are we like this? They legitimately on a 9-game.
I'll wake up when they beat the Knicks. Like that's always been the bar.
They were on a 9-game winning streak. And we didn't mention it. We didn't mention it once.
Hold on, wait.
Bucks came back and they beat them.
Hey, look, I made a video talking about that George Niang game, where he decided you can only contain Niang. Shout out. Look, George Niang is my new favorite player on the Cavs because like he just get them buckets, and it don't look like he's supposed to get any buckets at all. Like he just throw that shit up. He's going in. They got some. Well, he was telling a story. Somebody called that man. DeMarcus Cousins was trash talking to him when he was a rookie. Called him a Teletubby. And then somebody else, I think Gilbert Arenas, said he built like a baby mama.
Built like a baby mama?
Yeah, he said he built like a baby mama.
Oh, that is an insult. I will absolutely be stealing it.
Before we go, too far off the deep end. We do have a few more super chats we got to read if we want to get to those.
Let's get to them. Let's get to them.
We got another one from RayRags14. I was so happy that the Ravens lost. There's no way I could take the Ravens fans if they made the Super Bowl. Also, Colb, Reels art model post was so wrong. I agree with it, but it was wrong. LOL.
Rail. He's talking about Rail.
No, he posted that picture of him in hell.
Yeah, he posted that picture of Art Modell Hill. I was like, hey, bro, I really had to talk to him on the side. I'm like, hey, yo, what's wrong with you? what's good? What you got going on, bro?
I saw no problem with that post.
Listen, every Cleveland fan who saw that was like, yep. Absolutely. not only will I will also retweet that.
I ain't retweet that.
I was like, come on, bro. I was like, come on, bro.
But I will hit like.
They already lost, bro. They already lost.
Nah, fuck the Ravens, dog.
Fuck the Ravens forever.
Man, somebody was like, they kept bringing out like all these legends. It was like, oh yeah, we got Ray Lewis coming out of the entrance, and then at one point they offense stopped scoring. They brought out Terrell Suggs, and then I think my guy Jordan Schultz was like, hey man, do they got any offensive legends to bring out? Like, yeah, man, it's gonna be real sad if they bring out Jacoby Jones after bringing out Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs. They got no offensive legends. Like
every time I see Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs and Ed Reed, the only thing my brain will ever think is it should have been us. It should have been us. It should have been us. That's all I think about. It should be me. It should be me,
fam.
We got another super chat here from
you feeling like Ray J when you watch him?
Man. I did it first. Oh, we gotta stop.
He was having fun, Cole.
Oh, we gotta stop.
Let Greg get super chat, man.
Well, I don't even know if I feel like some of these super chats have like hidden meanings that are going to get me in trouble when I read them. But Autistic Kid says,
if you feel like it might be a baby, just let it. Just go ahead and defer that one.
This is probably fine.
I want to see you get in trouble.
Shout out to both Zay Flowers and DeMar Hamlin, the two greatest NFL operations to give the Chiefs to the Super Bowl.
Wait.
Nope.
We skipping that one?
Nope. I don't know what that one meant, but I don't know. I ain't touching it.
I didn't know if he was talking about that bad punt return.
Who said that?
Autistic Kid. I'm choosing to pronounce his
Zay
name.
Flowers and DeMar Hamlin for the two greatest CIA operatives to get the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Oh,
okay.
He said they were inside agents.
Inside agents, man. I'm telling you, the government is crazier than you think it is. The government's crazier than you think it is.
Hey, man, y'all gotta leave DeMar Hamlin alone, dog.
DeMar ain't do nothing, man. He ain't call that play.
No. Stop doing this. Let that man just leave DeMar alone. That includes you, Sean McDermott. Don't call no play for him, man. Every time DeMar Hamlin almost get a tackle, man, we got to find out about it. I'm like, man, let that man have a bad game alone. Like DeMar Hamlin deserves like at least 12 bad games that we ain't got to hear about. Like that's where I'm at. Like,
we got another one here from RayRags14. I've mentioned this before to you, Q. I was at the Browns-Steelers game in 2012 where the Browns got 7 turnovers and still almost lost.
Who the fuck? Was that Brandon Whedon?
Was that the Brady Quinn game where they won like 13-9?
I think it's Colt McCoy.
Oh, yeah. That's probably Colt McCoy.
I'm not going to lie. 2010 to 2012 was the closest I came to hating the Browns. I think that was my least favorite period of watching this team.
That was Brandon Weeden in that game. I just looked it up.
Yeah. Because like Brandon Weeden, I talked myself into this. He could be a transitional quarterback. You know, maybe he might be like Andy Dalton. And then I saw him get trapped under that flag in the first game, and then he proceeded to throw 4 interceptions. And I was like, well, this he sucks. Like it's never getting better, dog. Like you don't get trapped under a flag and throw 4 interceptions and become decent. That's not something that happens. Like,
do either of you want to guess who was playing quarterback for the Steelers in that game?
So it wasn't Ben.
It was not Ben. I don't think
I've heard 2012. It's either Landry Jones. No, Landry Jones was drafted in 2013. So is it check down Charlie?
Yep, Charlie Batch.
Charlie Batch, dog.
See, I know the Steelers well. They traumatized me very much. You know the Steelers traumatized you when you remember when Landry Jones was fucking drafted. By the way, Landry Jones, second team all XFL.
Kind of a similar super chat right after that one from blank 964. Just for fun, the Browns lost a game to Jacksonville in 2010 where the Jaguars had 6 turnovers. So yeah, the Dable offense was ass.
Yeah, he's ass, man. That's what we need to. That's what we need to start doing more in sports. We just need to start calling people ass when they're ass and just being real, just like serious about that. Like he's ass. I need to see that more on ESPN. Just be like, nah, he's ass. Stephen A will be the first to do it, I'm sure.
And we
he's
got
certified.
He is certified ass. I can't wait.
That's the Stephen A podcast. He's ass. He stinks. When Stephen A gets so mad he can't even pontificate his point no more, and he just straight up go to he sucks, dog.
He stinks.
He's garbage, dog. Do I have to explain it?
Hey man, the Cavs might just be good.
No, they're pretty good. They're really good.
Isaac Okoro has 17 points, by the way.
Hey man, he's turning the corner.
Like
Amani Bates averaging like 30 in with the Charge right now. You know, so they might be our best shot.
Listen, hey man, I'm not gonna lie. Like Karras is playing well. It's so
it's funny.
weird.
Look, they're playing so well, but then people are only getting madder because they're like, "Oh, well, Darius is gonna ruin this once he gets back."
Mobley's back right now, and they're up by 7 going into the 4th on the Clippers. I'm just like,
well, look, people were like dreading the day Evan Mobley came back. We were like, that's gonna ruin Jared Allen. Like we haven't seen all of these dudes play well together. I'm
like, it's gonna ruin Jared Allen because he's replacing Dean Wade.
Real talk. Their free agency signings this year, I think, have been useful.
It's kind of nice when you actually have shooters and people who could actually hit 3-point shots.
Not just shooters. Nice. Shooters with some size on them too. Like Max Strus isn't no lightweight out there. You know, we already talked about George Niang.
Shout out Sam Merrill. Merrill making a difference.
Sam Merrill making a huge difference, real huge difference. Now they can shoot. And hey man, once Tristan get back off that suspension, baby, we got to roll for him. Ooh, we got 8 minutes for him.
That veteran leadership. Once they get that veteran leadership back, it's over.
Look. The Cavs lose a game 3 by 20 points. Put in Tristan Thompson, start a fight, get us going for game 4. Like, we ain't had that, right? We need somebody who understands what the team dynamic needs. And sometimes the team dynamic requires somebody start a fight. And look, you might think I'm joking about this because it does sound funny. No, man, you ever listen to like NBA Game Time and like these old NBA players talk to each other?
Talk about it.
Charles Barkley will literally be like, yeah, so I think we needed to start a fight. So I just punched somebody and got us going for game 5. Like, yeah, that really does get the team. Look, don't nothing get anybody more focused and charged up than a fight. Like, it don't even got to be a big fight. Just a little fight. Shake some shit up. Hey, look, I promise you this. If your team getting their ass beat, you need somebody on there willing to start a fight. Because why not? Why not? Why not start the fight? If it starts to go south, start a fight, Mike. That's what Roquan Smith tried to do. And you know what? That's why he's the best vibes guy in the NFL. Why he's such a good locker room dude. Because he saw the Ravens start to sell, and he was like, you know what, to fix this? I'm about to start a fight. And what he do? He encroached like nobody's ever encroached before, and then punched somebody in the chest. Like he was absolutely trying to start a fight.
How did you bring this back to Roquan?
He just had an example of this. But I'm just saying, look, NBA coaches, I know you ain't supposed to do it. You need to put that start a fight in the playbook. That shit come in handy in the playoffs. Cole, when you watch the Lakers, has it not happened where Ron Artest started an altercation? And the next thing you know, the role players were making shots the next game.
That's all I'm saying. I watched Meta World Peace, formerly known as Ron Artest, elbow James Harden in the head so hard, everybody in the arena gasped and couldn't believe what they saw. Also funny about that, if you look that up, when he elbows James when he was still on the Thunder, Serge Ibaka was the only one who tried to run over there on Ron and it was ready to start something. It was like, what you trying to do? And when he did that, Kevin Durant immediately grabbed him and was like, nah, dog, we ain't trying to do that. Not with Ron. Not with Ron. not with Ron.
Serge's one of the last dudes left at a fight. Because remember when he did to Marquise Chris?
Choked him. Literally choked him.
Immediately choked him.
Choked him in front of millions.
Shout out Marlon Humphrey, man. He choked Odell and their teammates now. Like he about to be on his podcast. That's nuts. He choked him. Like I think we forgot this about Marlon Humphrey. He choked Odell Beckham Jr. on the ground. Like undoubtedly choked him. And then we had the Ravens fans defend that for like a week. They were like, hey man, that's just blocking. What you blocking? This air passage? Like, the play is dead. Like,
you telling me if I choked you wouldn't bring you back on the pod?
Nah, I did. I feel pretty confident. Somebody chokes me at the bare minimum, they can't be on the podcast with me. Fuck all that. That's just the start of the consequences for choking me. Not about to be out here on the podcast. Hey, bro, remember when I choked you? Turn it into a story time. And I'm like, yeah, I'm reminiscing when you choked me and we about to laugh about this shit. You choked me.
Why can't we laugh about it? Why can't we laugh about it?
Nah. The only people that can get away with choking you are the people who brought you in this world. And it's not even that no more, right? Like, you can't just be telling anybody them stories about if your parents ever choked you. Like, it's crazy, dog. No, somebody choke you, you can't be on the fucking podcast with them talking about, yeah, man, remember the good times? Like, you was going through depression at the time. Like, Odell was going through a lot when he was in Cleveland. Like, dog. Nah, you can't take no video of me on your Snapchat. You can't put me on your Instagram stories. Like, no, what do you choked me, dog? Get the fuck out of here. Wait, what are you about to let somebody do when they choke you, Cole?
Look, man, if
you about to break bread?
You choke me, something. One of us not making it back. I'm sorry.
No, I'm leaving here with something.
I might
die. No, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna bite. Like I'm gonna like
hey, don't you say you gonna bite somebody?
I'm gonna leave a mark, a permanent mark, dog. Like you gonna walk out of this with worse vision for the rest of your life. Something. I can't just get choked. Nah, I can't get choked and you live with nothing to tell the day about this. Like, nah, dog. Like, you gotta have a scar or something, dog. Like, I'm sorry. Like, no, they can't go down. Like,
I'm very
ain't
surprised.
about winning the battle. It's just about putting up some points. You know, show some respectability.
I'm very surprised we have not gotten any anime super chats yet because I put the word out on Twitter. It's like, hey man, you know what I'm saying?
Because these people have respect for themselves, Cole.
We'll
have
see.
respect for
We'll see.
themselves.
We'll see
in
what the
this
super
show.
chats looks like.
No, we
We'll see what the
won't,
super
because
chats
after
look
we
like.
read these next 2 super chats, we out, bro.
You have 3 more to get through.
Okay.
I'm gonna read the last one first, just because it kind of relates to all of this, which is from Autistic Kid again. He says 49ers versus Cleveland proves starting a fight works.
Hey, no. You know what proves starting a fight works? No, Colb. Hey, Travis Kelce, whole game. He knew what time it was. Travis Kelce came out there to start and said, "Get this fucking tea off my man." Pat Mahomes is coming through. Have some respect, you fucking bums. Like, it had that energy all day. And tell me that didn't help him. Was tearing up Roquan Smith all day. 140 on him. Like, nasty. Okay? Hey,
it worked. It worked.
Hey. And by the way, Baltimore, I don't know if you ever come back from this, because I forgot to put in that whole element of it. Travis Kelce kicked your tee, walked through your kicker, and told him to move that shit. The boss is coming through. And still beat that ass in your crib. It ain't. I'm sorry, dog. Nah. Hey. They never making it, dog. Like, they ain't got it. They ain't never making it. Could you imagine if the 49ers fought us and then beat us that day?
And you know what somebody pointed out?
We would have won 5 games.
You know what somebody pointed out on Twitter? It was like, Trent Williams about to look for some DBs and some wide receivers.
I saw that tweet. That was good.
I was like, hey, Trent really don't swing on nobody inside. Or at least you don't catch it on camera, him swinging on somebody inside.
Look, he fought all them dudes on the Browns, but he made sure he was like, yeah, well, Myles Garrett is a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Right after the game. A good boxer picks their fights.
Who did he try to swing on before the game? Wasn't it like Rodney McLeod or something?
No, he beat the shit out of Elijah Moore.
Hey, salute to Elijah for sticking his nose in there.
Elijah wasn't even trying to get in it. He was just trying to go by. and Trent decided he was fooled. He's like, nah, him. I want him.
If we want to keep going through these super chats, we got one from Big Kev 9539. I'm sure we're all going to love this one. Baker didn't hold the Browns back. They just suck at QB development and don't want to admit it.
Hey, man, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
I feel like what happened with Joe Flacco, fresh off the couch at 40, kind of works against this just a little bit.
And if the Browns are good at quarterback development, does that mean that you admit that Baker sucks? Because was he not developed in Cleveland?
He had a pretty good season this season. That's all I'm saying. He had a pretty good season this season, you know?
And he got developed in his 6th year in Tampa Bay. Hey, man, everybody can have their opinion.
If we want to keep going down the list, now that Big Kev got his attention, we got Ray Rags 14 is back. That was the famous Mike Tomlin game when he said before the game, whichever running back doesn't fumble is our starter. And every time one of them fumbled, he benched that running back.
Salute to Mike T, man.
Mike T was just doing bullshit against the Browns. Like, that's how much they was doing stuff that, like, Ohio State pulls when they play North Sacramento East West. Like, it was like, yeah, man, we're just gonna bench everybody that fumbles. Really? That's what they in an NFL game. He was like, I'm just gonna bench everybody that fumbled, and they still beat us. Like, are you kidding me? Like, remember when Jamal Lewis was like, yeah, I'm gonna break the rushing record against this defense, and then he did it.
We got another super chat here. Alexander Bly, Q and Colb, the best podcast to date. I don't know if this is an anime reference because I don't know what this means, but
read it.
DATTE bio, DATTEBAYO.
Date bio. Yeah, we get the anime guys in here. There we go. That's what I like to see.
Right after that, we got Mike C. Rodriguez. Colb should hopefully know this. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That's all. Sorry, Q. LOL.
Listen, greatness. Greatness. That's what I came here for. That's what I came here for.
Right after that, Alexander Bly said, also Griffith did nothing wrong. Colb
Okay,
knows.
no. He is wrong. He is not a good person.
We're not continuing the debate of this lore on the show. This is not happening.
I'm sorry, dog. It's so funny every time.
We got one more.
Here we go.
Autistic Man just says, Chainsaw Man goated.
There we go. He's right. And he's right.
It's just a show called Chainsaw Man.
Yes, Chainsaw Man. Don't watch it. You won't like it.
Is he a man made out of chainsaws? Is he a man with a chainsaw for an arm? Is he a fucking serial killer? What is it? What is Chainsaw Man?
Honestly, Q. And if people in the chat who have actually watched Chainsaw Man or listen to this right now, everything that you said, honestly, not inaccurate.
Everything?
Literally honestly, you kind of hit on everything when you said that.
That doesn't make me feel better at all.
You have unintentionally described Chainsaw Man pretty perfectly.
Okay, I want to explain. Let me explain the animes that I do know of. I've never watched them, but I know of the basic concept. Death Note is the one where you write the name in the book and the person dies, right? It's not an RDC
Classic.
World because they did a parody of
Classic.
that one. What's the one? Bebop, Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop, another classic.
It's got a cool theme. I remember hearing the theme. I'm like, that theme's pretty good.
See?
So there's that. And then what else? What's the other anime theme that I know?
Miles Garrett's dog.
Oh yeah. Well, is Dragon Ball Z anime or is that cartoons?
That's an anime. That's an anime for sure.
Hey, I know all the Dragon Ball Z characters because, well, I grew up in the community. Yeah, that was always on.
I grew up in the community.
Same reason I know every quote from Martin. It's the same reason I know about every Dragon Ball Z character.
I grew up in the community.
We love us some Dragon Ball Z. Like,
I wonder how many people don't know that you're half Japanese.
hey man, I used to act like I knew what people were talking about when they had these arguments in daycare where they'd be like, no, man, Trunks would definitely beat up Gohan or whatever it is. And I'd be like, what do you think, Quincy? Well, I don't know. Is Goku still holding up the spirit bomb? Because I knew he was doing that shit for like 4 fucking episodes. And that's what really turned me off of anime. If you're wondering why I don't watch anime, I had to watch it in daycare because this dude named Maurice was in charge of the VCR for like a month for whatever reason. I think his mama knew somebody that got him VCR privileges. And we had to watch that arc. Whatever arc it is, where Goku holds a spirit bomb.
Frieza.
Forever. And I remember him like, oh man, when he drops it. And he ain't never dropped that shit. Or at least when he did, I didn't get to see the episode. And I was like, this shit is pointless. I ain't ever watching this. Because he was just like, oh, I'm going to fuck you up.
We finally got to the bottom of it.
I'm going to hurt you. And then someone was like, you're going to destroy the world if you shoot that. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm like, would you just throw this shit or not?
See,
4 episodes.
We've got to the bottom of it now. So
yeah, you know what? You guys worked it out to me. I finally figured out why I don't like that shit. Because the arcs be dumb and they be long and it don't make no sense. And now that I know that, I definitely ain't watching it. Thank you for helping me get to the. I've made peace with it.
Well, it's good you made peace with it because we got some more super chats about anime.
Oh, God.
There we go.
We got Ray Rags. Ray Rags 14. Oh no, Q the anime boomer is getting mad, LOL.
They really be acting like you a 45-year-old man whenever we talk about anime.
Is that what it takes to be an anime boomer? Is just being 45?
that you're so opposed to it. And since I know now that you just hate stupid long arcs where you don't get to it, it makes it so much easier to recommend anime now. So we definitely not recommended One Piece. You definitely can't watch that.
No, I've heard about that. Yeah, no.
There's like 1,100 episodes. We definitely not doing that.
And he still ain't found the One Piece, and it's still going.
It's still going up, still going strong. Whole new arc
Like,
just
man,
started.
find this fucking piece, dog.
Everybody,
Breaking Bad had it right 6 seasons.
Everybody I know who watches anime is like, it's the best anime ever made, and I'm just like, bro, I tapped out at like episode 250. I'm like, I can't keep doing that.
I can't watch an endless cartoon. Like, it's got to have an end point. Like, at some point, you got to just end it. Like, I'm not watching The Simpsons 22nd season. I'm not watching Family. Like, you got 5 seasons max of my attention. Like, there's no way I'm sticking around and be like, man, I can't wait for season 30 of the fucking, nah, fuck that. Season 30, ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Only thing I keep up like that is wrestling. Even wrestling, I'm like, I'll come back in 5 years. Like, if it ain't hitting like that, like, all right, The Rock's gone. Fuck it, I'll come back in 5 years and see what's hot.
We got 2 back-to-back from Alexander Bly. He says, Aaron did nothing wrong either with the cowboy hat emoji.
That's more acceptable. That's more acceptable than the other one.
And
you guys have shame.
And then his one right after that is Colb is Dragon Ball Z, Q is Dragon Ball GT.
Now, what the fuck does that mean? No. What does that mean? What did he just call me?
No, that's very disrespectful. That's extremely disrespectful.
Did he just call me some mid? Did he just call me some mid?
Worse than
or
mid.
Some ass? Is that the ass Dragon Ball?
Yeah, he definitely called
It's worse than the original Dragon Ball with the fucking monkey tail.
Listen, let me explain.
Oh yeah, that also took me out of it because I don't know what world Dragon Ball Z is supposed to take place in. That shit is weird. To be doing all kind of because sometimes you will watch an episode of Dragon Ball Z and you be like, okay, well Goku's dead, and then you go back and you watch an episode of Dragon Ball and you're like, no, that's Goku with the tail. And you're like, what? That's Goku, and then he turns into a giant monkey.
Okay, so a couple things. First and foremost.
So first of all, that's Cartoon
Dragon Ball-
Network's fault for not airing this shit in order.
Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball are 2 different things. Dragon Ball is when Goku was a kid. And it explains it's like the prequel to Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball GT is what happened after Dragon Ball Z was over, when Dragon Ball Z finished. And Dragon Ball GT is widely regarded as the worst version of Dragon Ball that we have ever received in our entire lives of watching Dragon Ball.
How many versions of Dragon Ball are there?
Dragon Ball, the prequel, Dragon Ball Z, which is what brought anime to America.
Wait, so I've always had this question.
Okay.
Was Dragon Ball Z first or was Dragon Ball first?
My understanding is that Dragon Ball Z was first. And then
I thought Dragon Ball was because Dragon Ball always looked like some cheap shit. I was like, that had to be first because it looks like I always remember. I would watch. I'm like, this looked like the cheap version of Dragon Ball Z because Dragon Ball Z has some decent production value to it.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball Z is what came first, and they made Dragon Ball after that. Somebody might super chat and correct me, but yeah. But basically, what it goes is Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, which stinks, and then they got Dragon Ball Super right now, which is actually very good. But yeah.
Oh,
somebody just mentioned that Roquan Smith likes anime, and I think that explains a lot about him.
We actually got a super chat about that, which is from Blank Slate Man. Roquan loves My Hero Academia. Take that for what you will.
Ooh. If he loved getting tackles for loss like he watched anime, he might actually be a good fucking linebacker.
I mean, he played on Sunday like Deku before he got his powers. I'll leave it at that. The anime guys will get that one.
And we have another
after that in Zelda.
Can
you translate that one to Zelda to me?
Roquan played like Zelda.
Like before Link get the bunny mask and the bunny ears and Majora's Mask.
He's like Link before he got the Master Sword. Where you got to use the sword
is so it's the same fucking sword you've been using all fucking game. It's just like it don't break. It's so dumb. Like the upgrade, they're like, oh, you got the upgraded sword. It's the same fucking sword. Real talk. It ain't got shit on that brown sword you can get in Majora's Mask, the ultimate sword or the fierce deity.
Majora's
The
Mask
Ultra Sword?
discourse? Majora's Mask discourse?
See, now I was
That's
playing
what
some Nintendo 64. I wasn't doing
See
that.
it?
I wasn't watching the animation. I was playing it.
See, there we go. We getting
See?
somewhere, y'all. We getting somewhere, y'all.
Look, I just did it. Look, I'm telling y'all right now, I am 28 years old, about to be 29 soon. I have been in these circles of people who watch anime. I built computers. I played Nintendo 64 far after Nintendo 64 was like selling games still. Like I bought a Dreamcast in high school, all of this stuff. If
Yes.
I were somebody who was going to watch anime, brother, it would have already happened. It ain't happening, dog. Like, it ain't like I dodged the anime. I have been face forward with the anime, and I just been like, nah, like I just don't do that one. That and Lord of the Rings or anything that resembles Lord of the Rings, so like Game of Thrones, any of that fantasy shit. I don't like fantasy nerd stuff, and I don't like anime nerd stuff. But other stuff like time travel, you can throw some sci-fi in there. I'm there.
I was kind of with you on the anime, but I do love Lord of the Rings, so I'm kind of losing me a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I love Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones. It's amazing.
I don't understand how people can get into it because the second I see a fantasy setting, like I'm not joking, just something within me goes, nah, I get bored instantly. Like I get bored instantly, and look, this probably has to do with some nationalism, but like whenever I hear a British accent, I get bored, dog, off rip. Like I can't watch British TV shows, and like I'm just like I can't translate.
Hey, so you say Q's a boomer who puts America first?
You goddamn right. You goddamn right. Country first.
Hell yeah, brother.
God. Hell yeah,
brother.
Yes, sir.
We're still getting new super chats. We should talk about anime more, I guess, because it is doing very well
this
for us.
This is going to be an anime show.
I keep telling Q, it's the off season, bro. We got to talk about something.
Okay, we just
talked
got
about football for a full 90 minutes, and y'all didn't want to say shit. But when it comes time to bully Q about anime, boy, do y'all find the money.
I know what the people want, baby. I know what the people want.
Since I said that, we got 3 more. All right. Mike C. Rodriguez says, Full Metal is only 62 episodes, Q. Is that doable?
Oh, that's light. That's light for anime. That's light.
I don't know why people think I'm about to do it now. Like, it's been accessible to me. I've known about Crunchyroll since 2012. I just don't care, brother. Like, it's just, I have been in these communities. Most of my friends are like Colb. Look, anime watching motherfuckers. I'm just like, oh yeah, y'all talk about that? Yeah, okay. I'll come back around when you guys talk about video games.
I was just about to ask, since you a sci-fi guy, are you a Mass Effect guy?
I don't like RPGs.
Oh Lord, I
don't like RPGs.
No, you missing out on everything, dog.
I don't like RPGs, man. I don't like RPGs.
Oh man!
Every time, I keep trying to tell myself, like it. For the longest time, like it was like, okay, I didn't read that many books like after college. So like I've been reading books, and then like I feel like RPGs are the same thing where I play a game, I'm like, Quincy, you're gonna play Mass Effect, you're gonna play Fallout, you're gonna play Dragon Quest or Dragon Age, you're gonna play Cyberpunk.
Right? All 5. You named 5 great games.
Colb, I bought Cyberpunk. I have Cyberpunk. I loaded that shit up on stream, played 5 minutes of it, and was like, yeah. To play Madden. And that's an egregious sentence. I know.
That's
but I can sit there and play Madden for like 10 hours. I can't get through the first 3 hours of the tutorial on the RPG.
Man, you are missing out on 5 of the greatest.
Like I was legitimately Colb, I was legitimately thinking like, I'm gonna play Starfield. And then I watched people play Starfield and I was like, I'm definitely not fucking playing Starfield.
Absolutely not. You said Dragon Age and Dragon Quest. I'm like, oh, you hit 2 classics in a row.
Oh yeah, Elder Scrolls, all that shit, Skyrim. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that stuff sounds cool. But then like I don't know. For me, when I play a game, I just want to get in, get out. I don't want to get immersed. I don't want to get lost because now I play the game forever and I won't do my job. So like for me, it's more of a strategic thing because like I don't want to get into an RPG. It's tough when like Rockstar drops a new game because that game will control my life.
Oh, when the next Grand Theft Auto comes out, that's all I'm going to be playing.
Yeah, like or that and then Spider-Man.
Red Dead or Red Dead Redemption if they make it.
But that's why I'm saying like the game has to end. Like Zelda, I play Zelda. That's an RPG, right? Well, not
technically,
really.
yeah. Technically, the newer ones, absolutely, yeah.
Like I used to play a lot of Zelda, a lot of Pokemon as a kid. I guess I was a Game Boy kid for real. And then I got a PSP.
You're definitely a Nintendo kid. Sounds like.
No, because then I got a PSP and I started beefing with Nintendo kids. You know.
I got my Nintendo here right here for you.
Oh, you got
Emerald and Ruby.
Emerald and Ruby. Okay, classic.
Yes, sir.
Classics.
All right, what Pokemon type did you used to go with out the game?
Fire.
I was always fire. Yeah.
I knew you were a fire, Cole. I'm like, yeah, he's fire. I always would go water.
Oh, you would go water.
Because you want somebody who can learn surf.
But you could just get somebody who can learn surf.
Yeah, but then you got to fish for them. I don't want to do that.
I got Sapphire right here too.
Oh, you got all three.
Yeah, and I bought during COVID. I bought a second Game Boy just so I could trade myself, so I could like get the full Pokedex. I was really bored during COVID.
Oh, that's crazy.
We all did stuff.
We all did
I
stuff.
wore a bandana. I put Cantu in my hair and I wore a bandana. We all did stuff we regret during the pandemic.
I'm gonna read this next super chat. Then I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick because there's so many more super chats. I need to take a bathroom break.
Oh my god! What happened, dog? I thought we were about to end the show.
I told you. I know what the people want.
They're all anime related.
Let's get it.
All right. Autistic Kid says Dragon Ball came first, but Z got localized first. Also, Q watching JoJo would be nuts. I'll be right back.
If this channel gets to 1 million subs, I'll watch JoJo on the show.
Oh, don't do that. We got to do something realistic so people can.
No, we don't. 1 million subs. What y'all want to see it? That's the price. Give me 1 million.
5,000. Let's get 5,000.
5,000. You think I'm about to watch my first anime for 5? It's worth 1 million subs. And you know what? I want another 200 Patreon subscribers. That's financially that'd be worth it. You know, hey, look, if we did that, then I might be able to retire by 40. Fuck it, I'll watch all the anime you want. At that point, from an all-inclusive resort.
I wonder how many more subscribers we would get if we just started talking about anime.
I feel like this has been a coordinated takeover by Colb. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Where was he at? Okay, Full Metal. Roquan loves. Oh, you're back. All right, cool.
Cool. Super chat right after that one. Do you guys read any of them or?
No, we didn't read it.
No, we didn't.
Bloody Legend 8919. Q should read/watch all of One Piece in one sitting.
No way. No way.
That's not even possible.
It's not even possible.
We got Nelson Gonzalez. I can see Q watching DBS and One Punch Man.
Nah, I can't see you watching One Punch Man because you'd think it's stupid.
Colb. These are animated cartoons. I'm pretty sure it's all stupid. It's called One Punch Man. Like I'm not expecting it to make sense. Like you just recommended Chainsaw Man, One Punch Man, and JoJo's Adventure. I'm pretty sure none of this shit makes sense. Look, if I ever watch an anime, I'm not about to be here like, well, how did they get to this location in under 15 minutes when that is on the other side of that? Like, I promise you, I ain't gonna be taking it that serious.
Hey, people take it dead ass serious.
Here's what I'm afraid of too. What if I do watch anime and then I do like it, and then I start having opinions about anime, and then I start arguing with these people about these opinions on anime, and I would just feel like I'm out here having first grade level anime conversations with people my age who are like doctorates in anime. Like, this ain't gonna be fun for nobody, dog.
Nobody's gonna do that, dog. Especially if you make it clear that I just started watching anime.
Nobody who watches anime is gonna be real elitist about the conversation about anime. Come on,
you just can't have terrible opinions.
I just turned into a meme over the last week because I don't know what Plus Ultra is. You cannot convince me of this.
It's not because you didn't know. It's because you were like, what the fuck is that?
I don't know, that man putting some slurs in my chat. Like, what's that? Do it has to be on banned words? Like, I don't know what these kids saying nowadays.
Oh, man.
Speaking of not understanding what they're saying, we got something from Alexander Bly that says, Q dodges anime talks like Ippo in Hajime no Ippo. Do you know that, Colb?
Hajime no Ippo. I think you might be. I don't know if I've seen this one. I don't think I know if I've seen.
You know what you could have just said? Q dodges these anime talks like Reggie Bush in 05. Oh, I see what you were trying to go with there. You want to let everybody know how deep in your anime bag you were. Thank you, Alexander.
And then right after that, Alexander gave us another one that said Q would like prison school.
Okay, don't ever say Q would like in prison in the same sentence again, sir. Don't ever say that.
Hey, bro. Hey, two things. One, saying somebody would like prison anything is just fucking nuts. And two, I've seen that anime. You are a very, very, very sick man.
He's not the only one.
I might be too.
He sounds like you a cock.
Very sick man.
We got Ray Rags. Q, I've had full-on arguments with my cousins about Dragon Ball Z. Bringing up the Dragon Ball series is the easiest way to start conversations between us.
People like Dragon Ball. People say, like, I feel like people typically like Dragon Ball for whatever reason.
What's up with the Dragon Balls? Are they like Pokeballs, or are they like some mythical ball that fucking holds dragons or some shit like that?
No, they are literally mythical balls that hold dragons that grant wishes.
Like, are they 9 different dragons, or do you have to connect the 9 like Exodia to make the dragon?
Nah, there's just 7 of them, and then there's one dragon that comes out, and he grants a wish. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's not. It's actually very confusing.
Well, we got another super chat.
This is never getting watched by me. That was me giving it a shot.
You're like curious, like, okay, so what's going on?
Yeah, you know, I got legitimately curious, and then I heard that answer, and I was like, nope. Why?
Well, it's not. Earth isn't the only planet that has Dragon Balls, because Namek.
Wait, this shit takes place on Earth? Wait, I thought this was like on a different realm and with like different planets. That's supposed to be Earth.
No, see, the arc that you watched as a kid, they were on planet Namek. That's where Piccolo's from. See, there's a lot going on.
No, okay. How do they get there? Do they have spaceships in Dragon Ball?
They do have spaceships. Yes.
Then why do they dress like that?
It's just part of the universe. It's just what the drip is. I don't know.
So they got intergalactic space travel, but they still boil water over fucking fire pits to make rice.
Well, that's what Goku does, because Goku's just Goku, and you can't really do much about it. Bulma and Vegeta, they don't live like that. They also are rich. What's the next super chat?
We got Nelson Gonzalez says Q needs to watch Prison School. LOL, hilarious.
Please stop saying Q needs to in prison in the same sentence.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot going on.
So we got one more from Ray Rags. Q, there is literally a version. Well, actually, 2 more from Ray Rags now.
Mm-hmm.
Q, there is literally a version of Goku when he has no eyebrows because the creators forget to draw them.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's it for Dragon Ball Z.
And then Ray Rex, he followed that up with...
Wait, I do have a question. I remember when I was a kid, I would hear this stupid shit. And I will always kind of get the concept of whatever the weird kid that was saying it was trying to get with it. But also, I would be furious because there was that Dragon Ball Z Budokai game.
Yes.
Tenkaichi or whatever it was.
Great game. Great game.
Okay, well, my cousin was really good at it. And like, how many Super Saiyan levels are there? Like, at that point of the lore. Don't tell me the 40 different ones that they've added in 2020 or whatever the fuck they did.
4.
Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah, it was 4.
Okay, it's 4 Super Saiyan modes. Like the first one happened, and it was like, oh, he's going Super Saiyan, and then they were like, hey man, he needs to get even madder to complete this story. And they're like, all right, I know what to call it, Super Saiyan 2. And then a point came where he needed to get even madder, and they was like, hey, Super Saiyan 3. And then he needed to get even madder, and the writers was like, I know what we need. Super Saiyan 4. How the fuck do you even delineate? Does the hair get yellower?
What's funny is Super Saiyan 3, his hair get like, it's still gold, but it gets super long. It's like it gets super long. But Super Saiyan 4,
this is unlock the core memory.
Super Saiyan 4, the hair is black.
I remember I used to sit next to this kid in school, and he used to argue about which Super Saiyan models look better. And I remember I hated him, and then the other kid I was sandwiched in between two was a dinosaur kid and a Bionicles kid. And this is why I don't like Bionicles to this day. Because the kid used to walk around his desk and make it a dinosaur. And I'd be like, bro. And then he would be like, hey, Q, do you want to play Bionicles with me? And I'm like, Andre, if you don't get the fuck out of my face right now, I am trying to learn fractions. I'll start to remember why I hate this.
Everything you hate is because of somebody you hated. I just noticed that. It's not even because of the thing. It's because of the person you associate the thing with.
It's like you just see somebody do something you hate and you don't like it, and then you keep seeing that dude talk about it. You're like, man, fuck Bionicles. I didn't have a bad experience with them. I just had a bad experience with somebody who loved Bionicles. It'd be like that sometimes.
It's like, you don't hate anime. You hate Isaac, who always talked about
Maurice, who made me watch that stupid fucking arc.
I like that this is just turning into therapy now.
This is what it is. Like we're unpacking human trauma.
You guys are trying to come. Why does Q hate anime?
Now we know.
Well, we got a few more super chats here.
Oh
Lord. Ray Rag says, "Don't worry, Q. Dragon Ball has time travel too." LOL.
You know what? I don't want time travel with a show like that because it's not like y'all about to go back to the 1950s or some shit cool like that. Y'all about to come back to like 2822, and it's gonna look slightly different than fucking what Dragon Balls. They can get the fuck out of my face with that. I'm good. I'm good, dog. You know what I like? Futurama.
Oh, you're a Futurama was cool. I'm not gonna lie.
What's wrong with Futurama?
Futurama was cool. It's just not my favorite, but Futurama was cool.
Yeah, I like Futurama. You know.
Ray Rags has another one.
I tried to be an American Dad kid. That's when I was acting I was too good for Family Guy.
I loved American Dad. I loved American Dad.
I used to try to. I really tried with American Dad. I was like, you know what, man? I'm too good for Family Guy. I want to evolve to American Dad. And I was like, I'd rather hear Peter make fart jokes. Like I tried, I really tried. Like it's just funnier when
Man.
Peter makes a fart trumpet. Like,
Hey, Steve singing American Dad is
oh yeah,
the
it sounds
funniest-
great.
It's the funniest thing in the world.
That's another thing. I don't know if y'all know about me. Violently hate musicals. Graduated with a theater degree. Like I fought these battles, Cole. My stubbornness knows no bounds. Like
you hate musicals and you graduated with a theater degree?
well, I double majored in college, so I had theater and telecommunications because I wanted to learn film. But yeah, I graduated with a theater degree, and I got through all 4 years of college hating musicals, and also letting everybody who would ask me know I hate musicals, and I also hate them fucking live action Disney movies, every single one of them.
I'll agree to that.
Nobody want to see a real bear sing bare necessities. That's ugh.
Yeah. I was just talking about this because my friend, like his family would always eat flounder when they would go on vacation, like the fish. And he said he was kind of traumatized when he saw the Little Mermaid remake because they just made flounder look like a real flounder, which was like his childhood like
It's
favorite
so
food.
stupid. Like the whole point of the movie being good is because it's animated and you can make things look fun when they're animated. And then they're like, hey man, what if we made the Lion King look real?
Literally, like who watched The Lion King thinking like, oh, these characters are cute, but like, what if they just looked like, what if that warthog looked like a real disgusting warthog?
I blame early YouTube for this because early YouTube was obsessed with in real life trailers for animated projects.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what the result was. Somebody saw those and was like, you know what we need to do? Reboot all of the Disney classics and make them movies. Like it makes sense with Pinocchio.
Mm-hmm.
It did not make sense with Beauty and the Beast. Right? Like that shit did not make sense. But go ahead, man.
With that being said, Ray Rag says 1 has yellow hair, 2 adds lighting, 3 has super long hair, 4 is a fusion of Goku and the monkey form.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
After that, we had Alexander Bly, saying, just wait until Q hears about Gogeta SSGSS laughing face.
What's that next Ray Rag super chat? Nope.
He says that Frieza fight took this is Ray Rags. That Frieza fight took 30 episodes, but they said it took place in a matter of like 5 minutes. I get why Q was so mad and confused.
It's literally the longest fight in anime history, and everything he said about it was 30 episodes, but it takes place in a span of like 5 to 10 minutes.
And if I remember this correctly, they make you feel like it's about to go down right at the end of every episode.
Yes,
like it's like, like they start the episode like, and then they flash back, and then they come back. And he's like, now I have the reason mentally on why I want to do this, and then it just cuts to the end, and then you go through the same shit for like fucking 30. Yeah, man. Look, if you've ever been in an anime argument and somebody's been like, hey man, that arc really just turned away a lot of fans. Yeah. Made me a hater for life.
As of right now, this is the last super chat.
All right.
Mike C. Rodriguez says, so what type of sci-fi do you like, Q? Firefly, Star Wars, Interstellar, 555, hell yeah, Q, Futurama.
Star Wars isn't sci-fi. It's space fantasy. Ooh. They try to make it sci-fi now, but it's space because it takes place it's not about the science at all. It's just futuristic, but it's fantasy. It's space. It's basically Game of Thrones, but in the futuristic settings. Like it's more like that. It's more of a space opera than anything. So I don't really count it as sci-fi. Like Star Trek is like sci-fi to me because it's like still within the realms of some reality. So I like Star Trek. I've watched it. What else do I like sci-fi wise? I like self-contained sci-fi movies. District 9, really good. Things like that. I also like a lot of biopics too. Like, but not biopics about famous people, biopics about weird people. Like, y'all ever see Ed Wood?
I've seen Ed Wood.
Ed Wood's
I have
great.
not seen it. I have not seen Ed Wood.
Ed Wood's great, man. Ed Wood's great. Hey, Cavs are winning.
The Cavs won.
The Cavs won.
The Cavs won against a very, very, very good Los Angeles Clippers team, by the way.
Let's
Mobley
go,
came.
Cavs.
Mobley came back, and they still beat good teams. What do you
What
know?
Mobley do?
Well, I guess we
10
just
and
have-
9. 10
we
and
just have
9.
better
20
things to
minutes.
talk about.
He's a
And, you know,
must. Defense. He's not defensive player of the year. You know what, man? We went through a journey here. We went through a journey. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna reflect on this before I go to Senior Bowl practice tomorrow, and say to myself, we talked about something today. By the way, shout out to us. We did this show in 3 different time zones.
we
we got
we
another one.
just got another super chat.
Every time we try to get out of here, it never works.
Somebody just put in chat what is the perfect antidote for all of this anime talk. I need to bring Damo on here to just spit out some hot takes anytime the conversation starts to tear towards that. Hey Damo, talk about your least favorite wide receiver to draft this year.
Ray Rag says,
we do need to talk about that though.
Hey, Damo, should they fire JB Bickerstaff? Oh yeah, that's a good ass idea. We need to
Get Domo in here. Just hey Domo, just say something.
I'm gonna bring Damo on to the next show. Colb's gonna be like, "What you doing here, dog?"
No, I'm not gonna say that.
pull here.
I'm not gonna say that. I'll be like, I know exactly why you're here. Let's get to it.
You gonna bring in Myles Garrett to do We were playing Uno with fucking people.
so we got from Ray Rags. It's funny you hate anime Q, but like wrestling, where one brother is an undead zombie man with magical powers and a burn victim brother who he burned.
I understand that wrestling and anime are fundamentally the same thing,
That sounds
but
like
that's
some
the
anime.
dumb thing I decided to watch. And guess what? They didn't tell me The Rock was going to fight for a championship for 30 fucking weeks and then not show me him fighting for the championship. And you know what? When wrestling lost me? When they wouldn't let John Cena lose, because for 3 years I was waiting for John Cena to lose. This gonna be the time John Cena give up that belt. And then he beat, who did John Cena beat that just killed me? It was he beat Zack Ryder. Like, he beat Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder broke his neck. It got thrown off while John Cena kissed this woman. I was like, you know what, dog? They ain't never gonna be better than this. So I gave up for a little bit. Like that. Wrestling is anime, but I decided to watch that stupid shit, and I didn't decide to watch anime. So I'm stuck with wrestling. You get one or two, sometimes both.
I like that we only had 3 topics today, yet we're still at 2.5 hours right now.
We were done at 90 minutes. We were done at 90. Lucky we could have been done in an hour. And then y'all started talking about anime. There is more anime talk in this podcast than Pat Mahomes.
Thank God.
We talked about Goku longer than the best quarterback breathing. Like,
It's enough discourse about Pat Mahomes. Let's talk about talk about what the people actually want to talk about.
who's the Pat Mahomes of anime? Like,
Ooh, that is a good question, actually.
Well, Ray Rags might have some thoughts on that because he just said that undead zombie man turned into a biker, then back into an undead zombie man.
I have a theory about that. Okay, you know what? This is my time to unleash my Undertaker theory. All right. So the Undertaker was originally just supposed to be just a dude who was an Undertaker at a graveyard. Somewhere along the line, this man got powers and a whole backstory. But you know what? I can explain how he turned into the American Badass. One day, the Undertaker was doing some spooky seance shit, and then he got struck by lightning, and then put back into his alive body. And in his alive state, he was a dude who liked motorbikes. And then he died again, got buried by Kane at Survivor Series 2004. Y'all remember that, right? He buried Kane, buried him alive. It was a big betrayal. People hated Kane. Kane took off the mask. He was tripping. And then he came back to life at WrestleMania 20 as the Dead Man. Now, I guess it happened again because the last time he came out as the American Badass. But honestly, after you retire in wrestling, your arc's over. Like, it don't matter. That's all bonus content. So that's what happened. He was dead. Then he got struck by lightning and made alive again. And then he got buried alive again in Survivor Series 2004. And then at WrestleMania 20, he came back dead again, where he stayed for the rest of what is his canon, which is until he retired at WrestleMania 36. But really, he retired after he lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 32. So that's the lore of The Undertaker. Yeah, so you see how you guys feel right now?
Couldn't have said it better
That's how
myself.
I fucking feel when you talk about anime. And that's how we're going to end the show. All right? Brought it full circle. Yeah. That's what y'all be putting me through. Okay?
I was interested. I was like, okay, he in his WrestleMania bag, right?
Hey, man.
we don't gotta get all angry. We don't got no trauma when it comes to wrestling. You know what I'm saying? We can just listen to it. You know?
I kind of don't even want to say this, but we just got another super chat.
All right, Ray Rags, this is our last one, dog. I gotta go to bed, big dog. Like...
All right, last super chat. Ray Rags 14. Hell yeah! I turned this into a wrestling podcast. Let's fucking go. Kane also electrocuted Shane McMahon's nuts at one point with a car battery. LOL.
If you ever want justification for wrestling just being wiped off the face of the earth, search Katie Vick. Google Katie Vick. You'll have everything you need. If the government ever gets a hold of that storyline, it's a wrap for wrestling. It is a wrap. Wrestling will be done. But that has been Q and Colb. GT. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better. I'm learning, right? Have an even better night. Bye.
Oh.